clinking ice, fast cars, and the purest Hollywood magic on this episode of WatchBots. Hi, everyone. Welcome to WatchBots, the podcast where you can get a glass of scotch anytime you want because you put it in your contract. It's good business. There's Ben. I'm joined by Shaylin, who's already on her phone.
Hello.
Hi. Dave is gallivanting across the land, but we are joined by someone better.
Thank you. The new Dave, I'd like to be called.
Is that the comparison you want to make to yourself? Emily, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The hardy world of content creation.
Oh, the first time for everything.
Yeah.
You've done this before.
Yeah,
Emily.
but I wouldn't
It's not
call
first.
it.
But never like this. So I need to paint a picture with my words. We're doing things a little different tonight.
In the ass.
Well, it's early,
Huh.
I guess.
Not what I was expecting.
Usually we record at the table and we get the stand set up and it all feels very formal. You know, it's like when Trump single-handedly got that guy from ISIS and they were all in the Situation Room. That's kind of what our setup looks like. But tonight we're going a little more low-key. We had handheld mics. We're sitting on the couch. We're laid back. We're just rapping, you know?
Right. It's chill. It's like an MTV teen pregnant mom kind of show.
Yeah. I feel like
It's real. It's real.
like a P grade Johnny Carson, you know, like, you know, except he had a mic stand, but that's fine.
I'm just really grateful that I don't need to use 2 dining room chairs to stay comfortable because the couch is damn comfortable.
That it's true, but this was my idea. This is giving me anxiety already because it's like, okay, we try to have fun, right? We may not always
do our
have
best.
We may not always have fun, but we try. But it's like we run through things in a certain way. And I'm very like, we want to have a conversation and let's just go with the flow. But I'm like, but I got to play the clips at the right time. So like, it's just, there's a lot going on here.
You're just such a P grade Conan O'Brien.
That's a compliment. So thank you. You said you said it like it was an insult, but I'm taking it as a compliment.
Oh, that's a sad thing.
Basically, Ben is telling everyone he is incredibly type A, but he has dreams of being a mess
I am not
like
type
me.
A. What are you talking about?
Oh, yes, you are. It's funny.
He likes
never
order.
been to Asia.
He likes structure. He likes to know what's happening next.
I just want to be
But
in
guess
control
what?
of everything.
Guess what? Wild card.
It's ladies' night.
I've cut the brake lines. It is ladies' night in a lot of ways. It's a ladies' cartoon.
The testosterone level has never been lower.
No, the one time you had Kendall on the show.
Oh, that's true. Oh, we're drinking too, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, don't go there. What are we all drinking here?
So I am working on champagne of sorts.
Why did you have such a hard time with that?
It's not from France, so it's not technically champagne.
No, it is a sparkling
Oh,
piece
It's a
of shit
sparkling
wine.
wine.
Culturally insensitive.
But prior to the sparkling wine, I did have a quick Bloody Mary, and it was delicious.
Ooh.
Who does that at like 7 at night? That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
It's not that you're an alcoholic. It's just that you've got a terrible palate.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted something not sweet with my dinner.
I feel like that's the adult version of like brushing your teeth and then having orange juice, you know?
No, the adult version of that is brushing your teeth and then having orange
No, because
juice.
That
you
would be
should
way
know
more
better.
Grown up.
Yeah, you should know better at that stage.
What are you guys drinking?
I don't know. Ben made me a drink in my repurposed.
By your very specific request.
I said,
Yeah.
like, use my Dunkin' Donuts decaf iced coffee cup to make me a vodka drink. And he did, which I thought was sweet.
I think decaf iced coffee is more offensive than Shaylin's bizarre palate. What is the point of decaf iced coffee?
Because a person like me, like decaf is like an espresso. I can't have.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I have a very classic Coca-Cola and vodka because I need to stay on top of my game for the next, I don't know, 4 hours that we're going to record here.
Because I do tend to fucking chat it up, don't I?
Don't worry.
It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Without Dave here, we'll cut all this. We'll cut it out. say I'm having a Coke and vodka, I will switch to beer because, people, when you listen to podcasts, you love to have the curtain pulled back. That's what I've heard. We were recording on Wednesday. Some of us have to go to work tomorrow, so I can't.
Some of us are unemployed at present.
My plan was to have whiskey to go along with tonight's episode, and then I thought, oh, that's a fucking bad idea.
Oh,
I can't be
We'll see.
I can't be my effervescent self at work if I'm drinking whiskey.
So speaking of pulling back the curtain, I keep getting distracted because our cat is just snuggling Ben.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And he
That's
has,
really
like,
why I wanted to record this way.
A cat on his shoulder basically right now, and he just keeps cuddling in, and it's adorable.
It's
Our cat is
so
great.
Yeah,
That's-
no, there's a dog curled at his knees and a cat cuddling his shoulder, like a Norman Rockwell fucking Thanksgiving.
I'm also, speaking of the animals, I'm waiting for the dog to just like rip all these cords out. It's like an inevitability.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like an obstacle course, like Catherine Zeta-Jones has to.
There's a Mission
There-
Impossible
yeah.
scenario.
Yes, yeah.
It's like everybody's favorite movie villain, Thanos, and he goes, "I am inevitable." Although that sounded more like Agent Smith from The Matrix, but everybody saw Avengers, right?
Sure.
Big ups to Thanos.
Woo!
Fuck Thanos.
All
right.
Don't go there. Speaking of superheroes, they've been casting
Dave. No.
Not even close. I mean, he's the hero of this show. They've been casting the new Batman movie, and the Robert Pattinson from Twilight is Batman.
No, you're not.
Robert Pattinson from Harry Potter. My boy.
Either way.
Either way,
Fuck.
My
you think
boy!
so? Okay, this is what I wanted to get
He's
into.
good looking, but he's
Easy on the eyes.
that's
He's
not
no
what you
Neville
want from
Longbottom.
Batman. You want a little bit of a rough, for a rich guy, he's kind of fucked up. I want him to be a little rough looking.
You don't think that Pattinson is rough looking?
I think Pattinson looks like a sparkly motherfucking vampire.
It's probably because I've never seen any of those movies that I feel that
Yeah.
he looks rougher, maybe?
I
don't
guess I don't understand an uproar, and I'm not saying, Emily, that you're giving an uproar about like casting choices. So, unless you're casting like Bill Cosby as Batman, and that would be a great casting.
Oh my god!
Just
Revolutionary.
It's
know.
like-
See, Bill,
I'm not a casting director.
you're a Batman.
He just fucking roofies all the villains. Just be awesome.
I was referencing Ghost Dad with Sidney Poitier as the director, but
I was referencing Bill Cosby's real life.
Was Sidney
where
Poitier
he
in the room?
raped a lot of ladies.
What would you want me to do in this scene, Sydney?
I'm not going to play this game with you.
God, what we do on the show is
It happens naturally, or I get embarrassed. Those are the two options.
Are you talking about sex?
No.
Oh,
let's talk about.
I
that.
feel like to me those are the options.
Happens
Actually,
naturally.
yeah.
Hey, but why choose?
Do both.
Don't go there. Don't go there. So, they're casting this movie, and I don't know. Like, the casting is pretty interesting to me. So it's come out now that Colin Farrell is going to be the Penguin, and it's like not fat enough.
No, first thought.
Not fat enough.
I'm going to throw this
fat.
out there. I think that's kind of good casting.
It is good casting.
Yeah.
I think Colin Farrell is pretty versatile. Like, I think he showed his shit in like The Lobster and in what's the called where he was the Horrible Bosses.
The Lobster.
I loved him in Horrible Bosses.
I've never seen that movie.
Well, you don't need to, but he's the highlight.
He was good in Minority Report, which is like the extent of my references. He was really good in the Total Recall remake, or in Daredevil as Bullseye.
Oh my god!
Was he
Please
Bullseye
tell
in
me you
Daredevil?
haven't watched these things.
What?
You've really watched all three of those movies you just referenced.
Minority Report? Oh, Minority
Well,
Report
well,
owns
that, but no, the other ones.
the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Countless
Oh,
times.
Jesus fuck! Oh, Ben,
I love.
you've got a child that needs fathering.
Well, I
He
haven't
watched
watched
it
it recently.
before.
I watched them with my child. I watched with my 4-year-old
That's my
son.
boy.
Yeah,
But my point
boy.
is,
the boy.
speaking of Ben Affleck, who is your favorite Batman?
Keaton.
Okay.
Val Kilmer.
Vapid.
Just because, okay, if you had to have sex with one of the Batmans,
George Clooney. Or Christian Bale, but probably George Clooney.
So now we've named every Batman outside of Ben Affleck.
I would definitely have
Accurate.
sex with the Val Kilmer Batman.
That
Yeah,
makes
he's a
me
good-looking
sad.
guy.
I mean, Michael Keaton would be really apologetic.
More like Michael
Be
Sex.
awkward. Michael
Yeah.
Sex. Keaton, ooh,
Ben,
Freudian slip.
Who's your Batman?
So I think the answer is Keaton because I have
You'd
such...
fuck Michael Keaton.
Sure. He's a hunk. Not in the traditional sense, but everybody likes them different.
Disagree. A little bit in the traditional sense.
I'm going to make my point now.
I was defending you.
Were you?
Yes.
Against my
Give me
vicious
like a-
attack.
Anyway.
Give me a sassy look. We're going to start recording these on video too. Just see me like fucking
We're gonna start
fidgeting
recording
around.
soon. Like this
Yeah,
has all just
no,
been
no,
bullshit.
This is all off the cuff.
That's probably the best.
We're just mic checking, guys. But like, I have such a strong pull to that '89 Keaton Batman. But I will say, people gave Ben Affleck shit as Batman. I thought he was really good. He was the best part of the Justice League movie. He had that older, aggrieved, like, Dark Knight Returns. I'm just gonna punch the shit out of you, and I liked that.
I mean, saying that he's the best part of that movie is like saying that one piece of arugula was the best part of my diarrhea. Like you can't pull it apart. Like it's just shit.
I mean, you could pull it apart, but it'd be disgusting.
It was already pulled apart because it was
save
couldn't-
Martha.
They should release the Snyder Cut is all I'm saying. That would redeem the whole Justice League movie. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. That was my thought on the Batman.
Okay, no one's gonna.
And like, it's just interesting casting. Go support local media. Go see the Batman movie.
See what you want.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
The YOLO.
As Shaylin likes to say, don't tell me what to do.
I do like to say that.
That has never come up on the show.
But I do say it a lot. Have we talked about the Lego Batman as an option for a favorite Batman?
Oh God, yeah.
Well, if I rewind the tape, no.
Will Arnett, yeah.
Let's throw Will Arnett on the table.
Anybody who can do that voice, that's like such a better voice than the Christian Bale Batman voice, or than like
You're gonna spend the rest of your days in a padded cell.
Thank you so much. I was about to beg you to do that voice.
Emily, I have one rule.
always talk like this.
Rachel,
No, it's
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
yeah.
mount the cub.
Mount the cub.
But on Big Mouth, right? Like so we all
I don't know what
enjoy
that is.
the
Ben hasn't
program.
watched it.
Oh God! Well, I enjoy trying to get Shaylin to watch Big Mouth on the train.
Hell
'cause,
yeah.
it's got like animated dicks bouncing around.
Super inappropriate.
Yeah, and just hope someone's watching over her shoulder. But there's definitely this Nick Kroll can do this amazing like voice.
it's
like
a very
hormone
similar
monster voice, which is totally like.
I
the
thought
Will
actually
Arnett
that Will
voice.
Arnett
I
was
thought so
in Big
too.
Mouth.
But then I realized Amy Poehler has a type.
You know?
She did sex with both of them.
Really? Oh boy.
Good for her.
I assume.
What's the gossip?
They were on the beach together. Anyway, they're broken up now. But
Oh man.
still, even still.
You either live long enough to be married to Will Arnett, or you die dating Nick Kroll on the beach.
But then there's also the fact that like Bane does that voice, like Bane
It's
does
different.
that. Well, I know, but it's also fucking stupid.
Nah.
Did you ever hear the Bane rap?
No.
Oh
It's-
man, I won't sample it because that would be breaking copyright law. But the group is called Oral Knots. The song is called I'm Bane. I'll probably sample it at the end of the show.
So good.
It's
my God.
good stuff.
Okay, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Awesome.
Also, it's a song that I have played extensively for our young child, appropriate or not. And he occasionally will do the rap with me in the car. So that's fun.
Amazing.
Teaching the kids right.
That's the way. Next generation gives me some faith.
So I have no fuck ups for this week. I'm avoiding the Latin term. I know it offends some.
I thank you. Thank you, man.
And also, we're 50 episodes in. We no longer fuck up. I also don't have a drop. I had really grand designs. Shaylin spent an inordinate amount of time last week talking about a bird-themed pinafore. So I had this whole HMS pinafore thing going. I ran out of time. I don't have the hours in the week.
I am delighted by this news.
Oh my God.
Believe me,
I
nothing.
was nervous.
Oh my God.
If my job was doing this show and just cutting together audio clips, I would be the happiest boy in the land. But reality gets in the way sometimes.
Here we go. Let's do a little call for sponsors.
By the way,
if you listen to this podcast and
Harpoon
want to
Brewery,
sponsor it,
we love your beer. And you can pay us to advertise for it.
also Jackbox game, Jackbox
Jack's
games,
Box?
Jack's the box games, Jackbox games.
We should.
I
talk
still
about
can't
this.
say it.
Yeah,
They should sponsor us.
And Tito's vodka.
If you like hearing the bizarre clips that I will string together with no context or meaning, hit us up. Email at watchbotspod.com. Got to plug that email
There you
address.
go.
You know what I'm
Get
saying?
it out there.
So let's get into this. And we're talking about a show, and this is a new one. I've never heard of this show.
That's so weird. I'm shocked by that actually.
We're talking about the littles, and even just saying it fucking weirded me out a little bit. So, Emily, you brought this to the table. What gives you the right?
I love it. I loved this growing up. I think like apparently there was a series of books. I never once even knew about that. But I liked the idea that there were these little, they aren't even people. They're humanoids, right? They've got rat-like teeth and weird tails, and they're living in your fucking vents.
Did you say you liked it?
I loved it.
Oh my God.
Loved the thought that these like little people, I think I just wanted friends.
I wrote a poem
Cool.
when I was in like first grade about being an inch tall.
Recite it.
I wish I were 1 inch tall, no taller, no shorter, but 1 inch tall. I don't remember the rest of it. I just remember my dad asking why not 12 inches, and I said because that was too big to hide.
Jesus Christ. What is your dad's problem? You were like 6.
Because he thought that if I was taller, I could accomplish more. And as it turns out, I grew up to be super short anyway. So thanks, Dad.
I was going to say, like, how's that working out for you, that 1 inch tall thing?
Yeah.
I feel like if
what's
I were...
it like to disappoint your dad like that?
I mean, it's a burden I live with every day.
Oh,
we don't
dead,
know about that kind of thing on the show.
Fine.
It's like it's very odd to me that you like the idea of these little humanoids because it freaks me out.
Well, I think okay. So I like the okay. There's I'll get into this more later, but the thing that I like the most of it because I like anything miniature, right? And for a while, I had a weird business which does not exist anymore. So
Sure.
It's tinyenvelope.com. So my very long ago ex-boyfriend and I made a business out of making tiny envelopes and selling them. And it got like
just envelopes.
They were tiny. They were like 2 inch by 2 inch square envelopes, and like we sold them. We got like it was like a micro business. This was like early days of .com and like crazy shit.
Yeah, before the bubble burst.
For sure, it burst all over me. Still wiping it off my tits. So then we had a business, and it got on Daily Candy, and then from there it got picked up by the Financial Times of London.
What?
So we got all these insane
How has this
orders
never come up?
for tiny envelopes. I don't know how you don't know this.
How have I known you for this long, and this is the first time I ever heard this?
I think he kept the website up, so it's not like it doesn't work, but it's like tinyenvelope.com and like, but it was a crazy thing. But I like anything miniature, like when you see like a pygmy marmoset at the Tropicana Hotel in Las Vegas, or if you see just anything that's like crazy tiny, just like oh you want to bite it. It's cute and good, and I think that's what I love the most about this. It was like the miniatureness. It was cool.
So 2 weeks ago, through a yard sale site on Facebook, I picked up a Ziploc baggie of like miniature stuff.
What the fuck is it? Give it to me.
There are so many things, and
Can you name one thing that's actually in the bag?
Record player,
telephone,
like dollhouse shit.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I don't like it.
I was going to give you the birthday present that I wrapped and left at my job, but I would be willing to divvy up some of those little things.
Yeah,
because I also like very small things.
Because I think that was really the thing that got me is like anything miniature. It's just kind of like fascinating that this like giant world we live in, where even as like a kid, you're like kind of a big, weird, clumsy giant. That there's just like tiny shit and like
well, like I just.
You're kind of a giant, Ben. How
Ben
tall are
doesn't
you?
like the police state. That's the problem.
Well, yes, but so I have problems with the littles on their own, but it's just this idea, right? Like the family structure is fucked up. But I don't like this idea that like, I wake up in the morning, I go to the bathroom, I take a poop. It happens, right? Like I don't like the idea of like if I look at my heater, there might be this little colony of people in there,
Oh, no.
and like you know what I mean, and like they're they're procreating and they're pooping themselves and like they're living their lives.
Why
while
would
I'm
they
just
be pooping themselves? Oh, pooping.
Pooping.
They also are pooping.
Like for some reason they were shitting themselves.
Well, maybe they are. I mean, societies
They're
run
waiting
differently.
for you to finish.
But you know what I mean? Like, and like, I might know they exist. I might not. I almost don't like. I would prefer to know that they exist because, like, if you're there, you know what I mean. Like, it's weird. It's weird.
Here's the like. We'll probably talk about the theme song a little bit, but there's like a part where it's like, "Here comes the little, so you better watch out," and like
it's a threat.
These are people that are like they're hiding from you because they don't want you to know they exist. But like, so why should you watch out? Well, clearly it's because they're watching you masturbate from your wall vents.
I mean, Henry
think
was
it's-
13 years old.
You better be careful not to step on them and kill them. Was watch out.
They
That's-
go through much
that's
more
their
than that in
lookout.
this episode. I don't think they can die, but we can talk about that too.
Immortal.
That is another word for it.
Let's
so
do.
let's talk about how this show came together.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of history behind it. Go figure. But there's some really weird shit. And Emily, you actually have a connection to this in a weird way. So this was based off a series of books
Yes.
called The Littles.
Which I never read.
I read the first book and never watched the cartoon.
I read
I watch books.
I read books on my train when I go in the choo-choo.
I used to read books sitting in a tree in my backyard, and this is one of those books.
Well,
Oh my God, how Huckleberry Finn of you. Anyway.
That's grand. So the author of the books, named John Peterson, listed as a creator on Wikipedia.
Mhm.
Also listed as a creator on Wikipedia, somebody named Jim Schumann. I assume he's with the production company.
Jim Schumann.
This is a Deke joint, by the way. Deke,
Okay. Get in there.
listed as a developer. Woody Kling.
Woody Kling.
Listeners will
Woody.
remember Woody Kling from Rainbow Bright, as there was a
Yes.
controversy over whether he created Rainbow Bright.
Right.
And there were
right.
damages paid, and we made a lot of ill-timed jokes about his death.
And his hilarious name.
Yes. I mean, would he cling to living? The answer was no.
Did not. Yes.
So he's listed as a developer here. But if you go to IMDb,
Mm.
he's listed as a creator. If you go to Woody Kling's Wikipedia, he's listed as a creator. So I think if the question is, Woody Kling to taking credits that aren't his?
I think the answer is yes.
The answer is a clear yes.
It's a clear yes.
Alternatively,
It's
this is a
bizarre.
man who was consistently undercredited for the good work he did.
Oh, come on, Shaylin. He wasn't a woman. And I'm guessing by his name,
That we know of.
probably not a person of color.
I don't know. I don't think
Was
so.
that race? That was racist.
It's borderline.
Woody Kling. I don't know. I feel like a cartoon dude who wrote The Littles without any black characters. Probably not a person of
I
color.
mean, we only watched one episode, to be
Well.
fair.
I've watched them all.
Oh, okay.
Ish.
I read the books. They were not diverse.
They're pretty white.
Pretty white.
Pretty Aryan. Yeah.
Woody Kling did write the movies, though, for what it's worth. There were 2 movies associated with this show.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, one of them was called Here Come the Littles, and it was released in theaters, but only shown on weekend matinees. And that has to be an 80s thing.
Because
God.
that is when children went to the movie theater, and
Yeah.
anyone over the age of, say, like 9, not interested in the Littles.
Would have rather shot themselves than watch that movie. I think you mean. Yeah.
Good.
That was a very sensitive joke you made.
It's. I mean, I'm sure. Like,
it's not wrong.
Okay, watching 22 minutes of it is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Watching like an hour or 30, you. Oh my God.
It's like a Ken Burns thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like 14 hours.
I found 22 minutes to be long,
Oh.
personally.
Oh, honey.
Oh my God. Jeez, I don't like these fucking judgments you're making. So the movie is listed, I appreciated this, as American, Luxembourgian, Canadian, Japanese, French.
Luxembourgian.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, big in Luxembourg, the Littles. So the general idea of this is these little bastards, they're kind of like the Smurfs, right? They're little people. They have like
They're
a
rodent-like.
Yeah, they have like a Gargamel-ish guy who's trying to find them.
Oh yeah, I know. They've got like this evil Dr. Hunter.
Although he was out by the point that we watched
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I just want to point out that Dr. Hunter was hunting for them, and I always thought that was funny.
Yeah. And
You
he's
always
also,
thought it was funny?
Delightful.
She'll wake up in the middle of the night, just go, Dr. Hunter, and start chuckling.
But he's a lot like Rick Moranis in Splash. Like he's just like so convinced that this thing exists, and he has these sort of like stooges who work for him and help him, who actually are much nicer than him. Like it's. Yeah.
I was perusing, looking for some information about this show and this episode,
Fancy word,
I know.
Shayla.
and
Big talking.
totally. Someone compared him to Agent Mulder from the X-Files, like convinced that the Littles
Oh my
exist,
God.
but unable to prove it to anyone else. And that made me laugh.
So there were 3 seasons. First 2 seasons, kind of a clearly defined arc. So you had the villains, you had the Littles.
Yeah.
So there's the mommy and daddy Little, there's Grandpa Little.
Yeah,
there's-
Daddy who looks like Ned Flanders has the worst.
well, I
mustache.
wouldn't know because I didn't see it.
All right.
Dinky, the kids, and then they're friends with Henry Bibb, which is like a good strong boy name, and he has his
Big.
parents. By the
Big.
3rd season, where we got to, is it Big?
Big.
Bigg.
I thought it was Bibb.
No,
No, it's big.
Why the fuck did I think it was
the
Bibb?
humans are big,
Big.
and the Littles are little.
Oh,
Makes so much
I thought it was
sense
because they
now.
wore bibs. I'm such a dummy.
They eat a lot of lobster.
Who wouldn't? By
They
the
love
third
wet naps.
season, Henry's parents are gone.
Yeah.
The mom and dad Little are gone.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's like, where did they go? Like, what a bizarre choice to make. You know, we don't need the parents.
It's like, what was it? The voice actors that they didn't need to
Maybe
pay anymore. They're like, okay,
all right.
no one gives a shit
So we,
about
we,
this.
need, we,
Here's the
need,
deal.
we need the kid Littles. We need Grandpa. We need Dinky.
Dinky.
Mom and Dad,
Fuck
you're
'em.
out.
Fuck 'em.
Now we're going to take a moment to digress into Shaylin's childhood.
How you didn't need your parents either.
So, when I was a kid, my closest friend that I had known the longest and I lived 4 houses apart from each other. There were 2 houses in between us, right? And every time we played pretend, it was, okay, so we'll be sisters and our parents are dead and here's the scenario.
Good God.
Or we're
What the
sisters and
fuck?
our parents abandoned us
Uh-huh.
and this is the scenario.
Uh-huh.
And there were apparently, I learned later in life, many phone calls between our mothers and fathers asking what kind of therapists we needed to sort through this.
Well, here's the kicker. You never got any of those therapists.
That's true.
But
It was
I
just
mean-
more convenient when
no, I mean,
we wanted to be on an even playing field
but
and we
also-
didn't want responsibility.
That's
But like,
just
there's
like
so many
the Littles.
orphans in like kids literature, right?
Mhm.
Like, there's like all these sort of road doll orphans. There's like this Harry Potter. There's like, it's cool to like orphans are where
Hey,
it's at.
orphans are
because
cool,
when you're
man.
a kid, you want to think that you're independent and making your own decisions for yourself.
You know what they say, though, about those orphans? Sometimes they have great expectations. So how many Littles do you think that there were? Like we
Too
know,
many.
we know this family. Like, do you think that they have like a human-sized population?
Okay, yeah. So, in the bigger Littles
Yes.
universe, which I'm familiar with,
I would love
The
to hear about this.
bigger
No, there's-
Littles universe.
yeah, there are there's like a big city where there are Littles.
Like,
living
hold on,
in this-
BIGG in the Henry sense?
No. Just,
I'm hip with it now.
larger.
I gotcha. Okay.
there there's like cities that are filled with all these Littles living in different places, all
Mhm.
hiding from humans.
kind of like chipmunks
But
in
they're,
your walls.
they're not that small. People would
Well,
know about the Littles.
They seem to be about like 3 to 4 inches tall.
They know.
It,
Don't go there.
I thought they were larger than that.
well, it feels larger sometimes, depending on where you put them.
No, boy.
So
Hashtag on the rails.
the Littles, the Littles are, but in the Littles universe, they're everywhere, right? Like, and they have communication network. They have like a mail system. So where like cousin Dinky, he flies a plane, but he also delivers the mail sometimes. Like,
Mhm.
there's a whole deal where, there's Littles everywhere, and they all know about each other. It's like sleeper cells.
Oh, that's alarming.
Or the 12 tribes, if you will. Are you familiar with the
Oh,
12
shit.
tribes?
The ones who
We
read that
can't talk
weird
about this.
restaurant in my neighborhood.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
So they have a few different groups across the world.
but they're not 3 to 4 inches tall.
They actually are. That's sort of the thing.
That's the
about it.
weird part is
If-
that
if
they
you
are
unzip
just
it right.
Art imitates life.
tiny little people inside robot bodies. That's
Oh yeah.
Tiny little people holding tiny little people.
That's a beautiful Kate Pearson,
holding
and I
hands.
appreciate it.
Thank you. So the episode that we watched, it's called A Little Drunk.
A little drunk.
And
I want to call it just a little drunk, but I feel like that minimizes the problem.
no, and here's the thing.
a lot about this episode minimizes the problem.
We have been accused of, I don't know.
Alcoholism?
No,
Wokeness.
but it's early, of over wokeness, which is fucking preposterous. But I just want to say, we're going to make a lot of jokes, and this is an episode about drunk driving. But drunk driving, folks, is not cool. And
Don't do it.
I don't think I just want to put like a little umbrella over this.
All
Drunk driving is not funny. How this show portrays drunk driving
Is
very funny.
insanely hilarious.
There's a line to be made there.
and unrealistic and
So
bizarre,
with that in
yeah.
mind, I feel safe to proceed.
Okay.
Now the writer, this is fantastic. Mark Scott Zickery.
oh, it's important that he used his middle name.
It is. That's a very writerly thing to do. This is the only episode of The Littles that he wrote. So I don't know how it feels with the canon, but we'll put that aside. He is a well-known sci-fi writer, right?
Wow.
So he's done stuff with like Tech War and Star Trek and all kinds of stuff. Now here's where his story gets really weird. In 2012, he put out a Kickstarter for a movie called Space Command, which is like a sci-fi thing. And he had real actors from Star Trek and stuff. He raised about $100,000, so the Kickstarter succeeded.
Shit.
Since 2012, he has, in that first Kickstarter, he has done 3 more, all around Space Command, and he has raised almost $500,000. What has come out of this in 7+ years is a half-hour TV pilot, and a whole pile of people on that first Kickstarter page. They're not happy because they haven't got what they paid for.
But isn't Kickstarter like you can't? There's like no guarantee.
There are no guarantees.
There's no. You just be like, all right, I'm going to spend this all on porn.
But this guy, he responds to people who on the Kickstarter, and he said like, "Well, I've sent you all your stuff," and people say that they haven't, and he lists his personal email address and phone number.
Oh, sweet.
Now, if I had been drinking before we recorded, I 100% would have reached out to this guy. And like, I think about that sometimes in the grand scheme of things is like, wouldn't it be fun to talk to people involved with the cartoon? But then there's the pitch, which is we would love for you to come on our show about cartoons, but really it's about like
making fun of everything
Well,
you've done.
it's
and your
not
Not making
choices.
fun of, but asking a lot of questions.
asking a lot of smart questions and then comparing it to poop. I think that's really where you lose people, right? It's like we're not minimizing your life's work. I say it all the time. If you could make a career doing this,
Yeah,
good on
great,
you.
great.
But like, you know what I mean? It can't be like, oh man,
But I'm going to make a career of fucking.
yeah, career. Like when you wrote that
Because
scene
I'm gonna-
about Dinky, what were you thinking?
Going to earn dozens, if not hundreds of dollars by mocking you. Just
yeah,
kidding. It's
does-
$0. It's
We're gonna lose
$0.
money consistently. So anyway, I thought that was really fascinating.
That's wild.
And
yeah.
I may follow up with this guy and just see what he remembers about the Littles. We'll see how much liquor I get in me.
All right.
So the episode, it aired on October 19th, 1985. And
A great date in history.
was it?
I don't know, Ben. Can you tell me?
Were you born?
No. Yes. I thought you meant where was I born on that day. I was born well before then. Thank you.
What are we getting at?
Some context?
You want to know what you're seeing. You want contextual feeling. Contextual feeling. Makes you feel so smart. Helps to understand the art. You want that contextual feeling. You know what I would change if I could re-record that song?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Make it longer.
Yes.
I think longer.
Yes, you're right there. Sorry.
I want
Speaking of Kickstarter,
out of it. Yeah.
I'm going to start a Kickstarter
Uh-huh.
to get an album
Of Ben's.
of Ben singing songs
Oh my God.
that fit with the podcast.
You have 100% of the money I've made this past week.
Yes.
Marv Albert. Yes.
Zero
We're
dollars.
rich.
So in 1985, maybe not October, I don't know, sometime in that year,
Ish.
Burger King introduced a new fast food item. Now, this blew my mind legitimately. BK Burger Buddies. Have you guys heard of these?
Were they like sliders?
They're sliders.
Yeah.
I thought sliders were new. They existed in 85?
Fucking millennial. Yeah. No, yeah. We had
Am I?
we had sliders. I don't know. But like, yeah, no, we had sliders well before. It was burgers for
Before
poor,
it was stylish.
It was burgers for poor people.
Yeah.
That's what
I
we
thought
called
this
it.
was an amazing
But no, they came
development.
in like trios or something, right?
Packages of 6.
6. Yeah.
That's a lot of burger.
So I think it was like the White Castle thing was happening in
Yeah.
the South. The Crystal Burger is
Yeah.
a similar thing. Like I think they was just trying to rip that shit off. Yeah.
I don't get White Castle for what it's worth. Like, I have been to a White Castle, got like a sack full of burgers, and yeah.
We tried
Well,
those
you know,
freezer
Ben-
ones that time.
The freezer ones are a good representation of the real thing for what it's
But
worth.
sometimes
shame.
a sack full isn't all it's.
Don't go there.
One time, Ben and I deviated from a route to get. We were driving a long distance,
You could have kept rooting.
and we got off the highway to go to a White Castle. And instead, we found basically a crime scene. The White Castle was closed.
It's
There
like
were police
abandoned.
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There were
weird.
police cars in the
Shit,
parking lot,
yeah.
waiting for us. It was terrifying.
No.
The white was for cocaine.
Yeah.
And we left hungry. There was no food.
Yeah. No, I feel like those places are just. It's like a dirty middle of the night. I just need some shit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
off topic.
so top movies. we've talked about number 1. Of course, it's an erotic thriller. It's Jagged Edge.
Oh my God. Yes.
Number 2 and number 3 sound like movies I would make up in like a fiction story. So
Awesome.
you got Silver Bullet, and then you got Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
I remember.
I have not I've never heard of that movie,
Okay.
but
What
now
can
I
you
want to
tell
see
us
it.
about it?
I don't-
Remo Williams.
I remember very little. I feel like it was like Wesley Snipes or something.
That's Blade.
No, yeah. He was also in.
No, that's Major League.
No, I have vague memories, but like I remember the names, but I don't think either one of them.
Okay. Well,
What was Remo Williams?
he was an adventurer. and
Okay,
he
good.
was
We'll
in
look
the
this
jungle.
up later.
No one Googled it.
Shit.
Let's move on.
I googled
All
it.
right.
He's an adventurer. So, I mean, what do we want to talk about here? I mean, there's a lot to go through. I don't know that this is a show that works in chronological order per se, but we can start with the music. We can start with the message. What do you guys want?
I think we should talk about how the show rips off
What?
Indiana Jones.
No, don't say that.
So
That's
Don't say.
That's
Don't,
a good-
You mean with Duck Pearson? Doc Pearson. I thought it was Duck. Hold on.
There's nothing Doc Pearson can't get out of.
Yeah, all right. Boy, way to go.
Why does he chuckle like that? It's sort of weird, isn't it?
he's pretty proud of himself.
Yeah. I guess I
A
would
little
be too.
smug.
should we give a quick synopsis of the plot so that we can talk about the individual parts?
Okay.
That's a logical thing to do.
So
But
we
it-
have
It's a frame story.
Yeah, I feel like what we're going to do is we're just going to do things the way we always do it.
Yeah,
and
just go through in excruciating detail.
okay.
for
All right.
8
All right.
hours.
Fine. Let's start with the song then. Thanks, Shaylin.
Okay, it's shrill.
it is shrill.
The song?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Shaylin.
Ow!
That's hurtful.
Get out.
Well, she's little.
That's what she
Tiny
said.
little vocal cords.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Oh, speaking of little, how about a little theme song?
Here come the little. Hurry up, Grandpa. Traveling around the world. They'll go from one land to the other. They know there's so much to discover. Come on then. Here come the little, so you better watch out. Let's go.
That's as good a spot as any to cut
Okay.
that song.
That's an amazing, like, the dun 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 dun.
Oh,
Like,
don't worry. They are in a very clearly Asian spot. So
Well,
that song's
yeah.
got some problems.
it's not a cultural appropriation at all.
Not
then.
woke.
Or no. Oh wow. Yeah.
And
I would call the whole song problematic.
we here on Watchbots, we live by a mantra, and that's hashtag stay woke. And the song does not do that.
So bad.
But
That's new though. 'Cause
Is
the
it?
first
Okay.
couple seasons there was a different theme song. And
Okay.
it was all about how like, we're the littles, we live in your fucking house, and you don't know we're here, and we're
Yep.
watching you jerk off through.
And we're bathing in your
they
bathtub.
hinted at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but so it wasn't. They weren't traveling the world.
Right.
Their tails were twitching from one side to the other, or something. It was
What?
just terrible.
for,
No,
for
that
what
was-
reason?
Well,
Why would they twitch?
have you
Because-
seen Avatar?
Ugh.
They have reasons. So I'm gonna do the thing I've already suggested.
Mm.
In this episode, we have Big G with 2 G's,
Mm.
and he's gonna take the littles.
Henry Big.
Henry is gonna take the littles from a movie theater where they're watching Doc, what's his face?
A ripoff of
They're watching
Indiana Jones.
Doc Pearson, but
Doc Pearson, and then he wins a contest to meet the actor Kurt Corwin.
But let's pause there. I want to pause
You're pausing.
because he wins a prize, but like it's like the laziest way of presenting it. I have a clip.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Do it.
Let's hear a clip.
And just think, Tom, in a few hours we're gonna meet him. Thanks to Henry.
Yeah, winner of the grand prize.
I don't need to
The
see.
Grand.
You know what I mean? I don't need to see
prize.
Henry like putting his little box tops in the envelope and putting
No.
the envelope in, but it's just like
it's like Basil exposition
Yeah.
from the Austin Powers
Yes,
movie.
it's
Yeah,
like-
that's true.
So wait a minute. So he
Can you believe
he won a prize to go to Hollywood by himself
by himself as a single
to
child?
meet
Yes.
an actor. What the fuck contest
Yeah.
was this?
It was a pederast
Yeah.
contest.
I certainly
vey.
hope we will get more into detail. Anyway, Henry and the Littles are exposed to Kurt Corwin, the actor who plays Doc
Mhm.
Pearson, whose name I keep forgetting. He turns out to be a drunk. They're disappointed. Bad decisions are made. He makes amends and goes through 12 steps in about 14 seconds after a life-altering, life and death experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the littles go back to creeping on people
Still
from the
worse
vents.
consequences than Jeffrey Epstein.
Hashtag he didn't kill himself.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no. So I think,
So that's-
Shaylin, you've hit the
That's
most.
the arch.
So the episode's over now.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
well, let's rate it.
Done so.
And now let's go back. I just wanted to prep our
I'm
listeners
trying to think,
This
what was
is-
the point of doing that now?
because we were going to talk about the other pieces.
All the other weird shit that goes
There's
on
so
there.
much weird shit here that I feel like going by
It
plot
is
point is harder
fantastic.
than...
It's almost like instead of by plot point, you can focus on one subplot at a time.
That's
So
what
do we
I'm
want to
suggesting.
start with the alcoholism? Do you want to start with Dinky driving? Dinky.
The ripping off of Indiana Jones.
Let's start with the
whole
ripping off
thing
of Indiana Jones.
Okay.
It's fantastic. It's extreme, right? So the guy is like a doc, whatever. So he's
Doc
a
Pearson, of course.
professor,
Yes.
Indiana Jones.
An adventurer.
An adventurer in real life. He's an alcoholic, just like Harrison Ford likes to smoke a lot of weed, according
Does
to
he really?
sources.
Not my Harrison.
So, we've got different ones.
To fix my shrine.
Yeah. So the thing that's amazing to me is how completely they rip this off. And it's not the only episode in which they rip off ideas from Indiana Jones.
Really?
There's another episode of The Littles where there's actually like a thing they hold up, and when the sun hits it right, its eyes
Oh, man.
shoot into something and destroy it. Like it's full on.
So
Indiana
it's-
The
Jones.
laser hit Mom and Dad Little, and that's why they're no longer on the show.
That's why.
The last little crusade.
Yes, Indiana Jones and the Littlest Crusade.
So, yeah, that's wild and upsetting. Just write some original stuff.
Right.
Mark Scott Zickrey.
I mean, George Lucas, he's barely making it by. Why don't you?
Yeah. He's only sleeping on 3 gold beds.
Or is it Steven Spielberg?
In
I don't know, whatever.
1985, they were less rich, still rich, but less rich.
Right. That what wealth accumulates.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
going to say they're doing better than me.
They were born men, though, so.
oh man, Shaylin, don't go there.
Definitely doing better than me
Oh,
then.
man.
Girls' night.
Well, I'm up here on my man horse, and I'm doing good. So, I guess let's talk about the alcoholism.
Yes.
Right? Like, so
So, yeah.
Henry meets Kurt.
So they're all excited because he's this great hero. He's like the Harrison Ford, right? He's full on rip off Indiana
but
Jones.
yeah,
And so he's so excited because he gets to meet him, and then he goes to the airport, and
it's
these
all
coked
it's
up
all very weird.
assistants.
Yeah,
Do you
let-
have a
geez.
clip of the airport?
Super
Yes,
coked up
I have two.
assistants.
So let's meet the assistants.
Meet
Or
Henry,
ma-
who's
I-
flown alone in the airport, smuggling in a box of
Of
little
littles.
people.
They would have
which
been seen on the
means
X-ray.
TSA. Come on.
Let's meet the bigwigs.
There's our prize winner. Henry Big, I'm Dave Mino. I'll be taking you to the studio to meet Kurt Corwin.
Oh, boy!
So they meet him, right? And then like this assistant Dave Mino, which is a weird
Mino.
name. Like what the fuck?
He's not even mean.
He's not even in. Oh, God, we should just stop.
Not for me. Yeah.
So they try to like take his camera bag, which is where Henry keeps the littles, and like, boy, this is weird too.
No, that's okay. No, wait! Let's go!
Okay. The audio
Jesus
is
Christ.
actually super creepier
Yeah.
even than the video.
I mean,
'Cause the video
it's-
is like
The video's creepy, too.
It's
they're trying
alarming.
to take us like a little lunchbox.
Yeah.
Which is like the tiniest. It's not like, look, let me help you with your heavy suitcase, kid.
And-
It's a little lunchbox.
And Henry's out here in his red sweater vest and his rocker hair.
Oh.
Yeah, real dreamboat. So they try to take his bag. The littles are fine. And then we go to meet Kurt, and Kurt. Oh my God, this is an amazing
Okay.
character.
Yeah.
Let's meet him, and then we could talk about some characteristics. Is that a good one?
That was pretty good.
What's your favorite characteristic? Hashtag characteristics. Spelled the way it sounds.
Glad to meet you, kid. You want a drink?
Huh?
A little something funny going on with Kurt.
Yeah.
I think he's got an alcohol problem.
He offers like
You
a
want a
12-year-old
drink?
a drink.
Every time Kurt walks, he's got a glass and he's got a tumbler
Oh,
full
yeah,
of
a
full of
tumbler.
scotch. Now, as if that
Well,
was
it's a
clinking
brown
ice
liquor. It could
cubes.
be whiskey.
I
it could
had
be
that
scotch,
question
Could be
too,
rye.
yeah,
Could
yeah.
be. It could be anything.
What's
you
his
know?
drink of choice?
Yeah.
there is a subtle clinking of ice.
Yeah.
Like every step he takes.
It's
I
kinda like
died.
a-
It was fantastic.
Sexy John Cheever dad kind of situation.
Hashtag John Cheever dad.
I don't even know what we're asking for.
I just want to hear people talk about ice cubes clinking, I think.
People talk about their closeted homosexual fathers abusing alcohol. Great. Right.
Yeah, I think we'll get a lot of people in the audience.
Yeah.
With
It'll
that
be a
use
strong
case.
thread on
Who
the
can't
internet,
relate?
yes.
Yeah.
So you can say a lot of things about Kurt. Right off the bat, you see something's a little weird.
Yeah. He's pompous. He's like He's big Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's.
What you can't say,
Mhm.
not a savvy businessman, because he negotiated his contract. Okay. And
Yeah.
he put a clause in.
Mm.
I mean,
Let's hear about this clause.
band
Ben.
writer's a little
Can
weird,
we
but
hear?
yes.
He's even more handsome in person.
Another scotch. I get a drink whenever I want. It's in my contract.
What does that mean? What does that
It means he has such a problem with alcohol that it has infiltrated his
God.
business practices.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I love so much that the way he says it is just like he's proud. He's like
Yeah.
proud of
Well, because you have to take a step back too, because so they're meeting in his dressing room,
what?
which has-
wouldn't you?
which
With
has
a
is
12-year-old
enormous.
kid.
Well, it's huge because it's got a fucking full bar and a bartender.
If we're gonna put something in a dressing room other than a 12-year-old kid,
Yeah, and
it's gonna be a full bar.
Yeah,
A
hold on.
12-year-old kid
trying to
and
parse
his
that out. What does
4
that mean?
little tiny people with tails that ride around
But they
in
don't
his
know-
camera
yeah,
bag.
No one
Nobody
knows
knows
they're
that they're
there. No
there.
one knows they're there.
It's just the kid
There's
in the
secrets.
camera bag. And
Dr. Hunter's pretty sure.
Henry's 13. Dr. Hunter is dead by the time this comes up.
Might be.
He's no longer on the show. It's very strange. And Grandpa gets in his high horse and he's like, well, there's a one-man liquor store. And it's
Yeah.
like, fuck you, Grandpa.
Grandpa immediately snaps a judgment, which I think is sort of a part of who Grandpa is.
Is it because is Grandpa
he's-
always such a fucking asshole?
He's kind of a judgmental, like like a stereotypical old man who thinks that all the the young generation is just a waste of space.
Yeah.
So he's a
Okay.
square.
He's a square, and he's a little physically abusive at times.
I was going to say, he's not physically frail.
No, he's like plump. He's like a
Okay.
Dickensian, right? And he has like a walking stick that he sometimes beats people with.
He's
Or
like
just
old Biff
bends
Tannen,
angrily.
you know, in Back to the Future 2, where he's
Yes.
got the walking stick
Yes.
with the fist on it.
But
Absolutely.
with better fat guy makeup.
Well, no, old Biff Tannen wasn't fat.
Old Biff Tannen was indeed fat.
So
So,
this guy's an alcoholic,
so he's an alcoholic.
and
And
that's,
he's also lazy. Like, he refuses to do a stunt scene.
No.
So this is a funny thing. I am not a movie maker. This
Uh-huh.
is a shock, I know. But like, they plan out stunts pretty far in advance. They got to get their shit in order. But
Yeah.
Kurt's like, I'm not doing this scene. And the director's like, he grabs me. He's like, brother, have I got a surprise for you? So they take him to like
my God, I
this
love this.
scale model set.
okay. So here is the secret to why I really like the Littles is because these like everything is miniature and weird.
Okay.
I love this set. This set is like, as
Here-
they would say on Project Runway, it is everything. It is. The set is like fantastically rip-off of Indiana Jones, magical.
Here's where we agree. As uncomfortable as the Littles themselves make me, miniature sets in movies are fantastic.
Yes.
So like the movie Earthquake,
Uh-huh.
all miniatures, and like
Really?
there's a behind the scenes documentary of how they made the buildings and shook them apart and stuff.
I
That
don't
stuff
even
I
want to
live
watch
for.
the movie. I just
Yeah.
want to watch the behind the scenes documentary. And it's like the miniatures, it's a fucking amazing. When
Yeah.
they create these little worlds and they're like so
It's the coolest stuff. Like it's Star Wars, the same thing. Like
Right.
there was some behind the scenes footage of them shooting the Death Star trench scene, and they're swooping the camera
That's
above.
so
And it's
cool.
like it's like
Yeah, yeah.
it's still this 30-foot thing, but it's a little teeny tiny according to the scale. Because you want the Death Star, you'd have to build like a small moon.
That's
And
correct.
that, I mean,
he's got the money for it.
I mean,
Come on.
maybe with the man in the White House, we could
I
do
got
it.
a
But
small moon right here. Shaylin,
So-
turn around and drop trow.
Shayla, how did you feel about the animatronic?
Number one, no. I want to go back to the miniatures first.
God,
Okay.
fucking damn it.
My great uncle had this fucking awesome train set.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna say a miniature dick.
That's wrong. And no,
His dick was huge.
his whole
The
entire
miniature?
cellar was like this amazing train set. And I saw it 1 or 2 times when I was a child. And when I was in my teenage years and finally able to speak my mind, I finally was like, Uncle Bud, can I see the train set? And he had to tell me very sadly that he had like packed it up in boxes and it wasn't set up anymore.
Wow.
And I don't know that I've ever been that disappointed.
Wow. So
That was quite a tale.
I wanted like to see the little tiny conductors and like the kid with the fake balloons
You would.
and like
So
the
you
trees.
fell into a glass of
Here's the
scotch.
deal. Like, imagine. Okay, so a friend who's one of the many reasons her marriage ended was that her husband really enjoyed toy train sets.
No, he wasn't obsessive about it. It was just like his hobby.
No, again, it's still a fucked up hobby. Can you? I couldn't be with someone who loved
Well,
train sets that
You
much.
know, I think
You should probably leave and not look in our basement.
I think this is a spot where we can throw it to our listeners.
Uh-huh.
And if you are a train fanatic, hashtag hold me closer, tiny conductor. So the point of this scale model is that they're able to film this dangerous stunt. So they have like a wind up car, but that isn't what matters here.
No.
What they have built, they treat it like a wind up doll. But a wind up doll, like you picture a toy soldier, like it walks around, it's very stiff.
Yeah.
This wind up doll, they turn this motherfucker on. And it's like sprinting around
Yeah.
and bending.
This
This technology does not exist.
No, we do
Yeah.
not have this technology.
We
Now-
don't have it in large scale, and we certainly do not have it in miniature.
exactly.
We have all seen the Robin Williams film Bicentennial Man. And,
Unfortunately.
I mean, God willing, we're going to get there, but this is like a bicentennial man
Yeah.
riding a car. And so not only can it move, it's like sentient because it goes on this amazing car trip,
Yeah.
which I timed it. It takes 40 seconds of like, you're just watching a car driving around. Like, come the fuck on. But it's wild
But
stuff.
it's miniature, so it's
Yeah.
like that much more interesting.
Where does this fall in the timeline with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
This is
Way
before.
before.
Do you think that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids
is
is based on the idea that this is not an animatronic?
Mhm.
This is a small man who used to be a full-size man, and they zapped him with a laser.
There are a lot of Kurt Corbin lookalikes on this show, but it also doesn't move when Dinky takes his clothes.
That's true.
Yeah, and I also think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is based on Denver the Last Dinosaur.
And also fact.
Because everything was. Okay.
So we're pretty close to paths diverging here. So
Yeah.
let's get to the point
Okay.
of divergence, then we can go off, right?
Right.
So before we do that, so we go to the movie set. It looks like Wakanda, like they're shooting Black Panther. There's literally like a big ass panther.
Yeah, I know.
And if you weren't sure that Kurt had a problem, I'm going to play a couple of clips in succession
Yeah,
here.
Sweet.
The word is subtle.
Real magic, Howie. Now, let's go make us a movie. And get me a drink. Another one. I'm thirsty.
He's always thirsty.
It's just like he's just walking around with the fucking ice clinking.
I like how the union guy, Teamster dudes, who's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're just judging the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably making a lot less money
Yeah,
than him.
speaking as a union rep, Shaylin, I would expect
Oh,
nothing
boy.
less from you.
Oh boy. They're going to bury you in Giant
Ooh,
Stadium.
ooh. But yeah, no, like they're just, it's like, they're like, "Rah, this guy's fucked up.
But you
in
know what?
case you
He's
didn't notice.
got all the power.
But
you
they're
know?
not wrong either.
No, they're right.
Like he's literally walking
So,
around with a glass of
I mean,
scotch constantly.
They're not wrong, right? And so in a moment here, Kurt, like he tries to deliver a line.
Oh my god, it's like
And-
Tommy Wiseau
and
in
he-
the room.
and
So
he just-
good.
so he can't remember his
Yeah.
line because he's so fucked up. But then the scene starts and he immediately calls for his double. His double looks just like him. This isn't a Jim Kirk situation where it's
No,
like, oh, that guy has more hair.
You do realize it's all just drawings because it's animation.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I thought his name was Bib. So, so like the double, but they don't.
Apparently, Ben has not been paying close attention the whole time.
It's like the double doesn't have brown hair where Kurt has blonde. Like
No,
it looks
it's
like
just
him.
the same,
And there's another shot later. I mean, you can't clip this because it's a visual medium,
Right,
folks.
it's official.
There's another guy sitting in a director's chair who looks just like him. There's 3 of these fucking guys
Okay,
running around.
So it's like, I think we all knew these people who drew the same person again and again.
Their
I-
name was Shaylin.
for me, I was just drawing that cool ass. That's all I ever did.
I love the cool ass. Ben knows I love it when he draws the cool ass. But like you get one guy, you get him really good, and you keep drawing him and drawing him, and this happens to be a great outlet for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Every person I ever drew had their arms behind their back, so you
Hold
couldn't
on.
see their hands
Uh-huh.
because I couldn't draw hands.
Well.
So they all look the same, is what I'm saying.
So, boy, that is
Like
strange.
soldiers that are at ease is all you're drawing. Yeah.
More like they were self-conscious.
Oh.
hiding their hands.
It's my army.
Yes.
So Dinky, who's a big Kurt fan, he sees Kurt's cup and he's like, I want a drink. And at first he doesn't like it, but then he climbs in and he's like, maybe
Hang on.
this isn't
If
so
he
bad.
likes it, I like it.
That wasn't Dinky. That was Emily and I talking.
Uh-huh.
But we can hear the real thing too.
Yeah.
We'll see how close we were.
Gee, Kurt Corwin's drink. I wonder what it tastes like. Gah! It's awful. Huh?
And then he farted. Do you guys remember your first drinks?
Yeah.
Alcoholic.
So, my parents, moderate drinkers.
Sure.
God bless them. Thanks for not passing that on. So, margaritas, right, from Texas. We've
Sure.
had and I'd always get like a sip of the margarita, and margarita is delicious. Like a little bit of salt, a little bit of sweet. It's like a good taste, and the alcohol went down smoothly. So I didn't like beer so much, but my dad would sometimes make shandies
So you
after he mowed the lawn.
Okay, that's not a bad thing.
That was delightful.
It's a nice warm. So you started with a margarita.
Yeah, margarita. Yeah,
Interesting.
not a whole one, like sips.
Sure.
How about
were,
you,
were you
Ben?
were you wasted away again?
Wait, looking for my last
Telling you,
taker
I'm
of.
transitioning slowly. For me, it wasn't two things at once, but the first alcoholic drink I ever had was Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Whoa.
And
Did you have heartburn upon looking at it?
so I did get bad heartburn,
It's so acidic. Yeah,
but it's also very sweet, which
Right.
appeals to me as like a 4-year-old. So I liked that, but then it burned going down. So I chased that with Bud Light.
Oh.
Come
Bummer.
on. What is that reaction?
I just mean
Like, chasing
I
alcohol
didn't
with
realize I
beer
was
to
sitting
make
in the
the
room
burn.
with the fucking bourgeoisie over here.
No, I'm just
No, it's
thinking
not
like
that
if you go from like the burning sensation of like
To
hard
the cool,
alcohol
refreshing
to
blandness
beer.
of Bud Light.
But I don't.
They're
I mean,
both
the taste
malt
of beer
beverages.
as a child, like as an adult, I can get it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like the taste of beer as a child, I was just like, this tastes like right before I throw up.
I was just thinking like
That's the key to beer is you want to hold on to that feeling.
alcohol followed by alcohol probably doesn't
Mm-hmm.
feel good. I was more concerned about your esophagus,
As
Well,
an infant,
I'm
yeah.
alive,
which is good.
sort of,
I'm
So, I mean,
glad.
physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaylin.
I had, I think, raspberry Smirnoff,
Ooh,
but like a lot of it in a quick succession, which was bad.
Okay,
And also root beer with Southern Comfort,
that's all right.
Oh.
which
So
is
Southern
very much like
Comfort-
an under 21.
Yeah, it was an earlier part of my under
Mhm.
21 drinking and sort of.
I will say, I was in my 21st year. I was very close to legal, but not.
What are you trying to prove something?
you think
Yeah.
you think the cops are going to get a hold of this, and you're going to end up in like a.
Do you think the cops are? Shaylin, open the door.
I think it was a bad decision I made then.
You're gonna spend the rest of your days.
It's like the Handmaid's Tale, only it's for if you drank before you were 21, and then you're fucked, and you have to like go.
I understand that.
serve milk to all the
And then they said, "Truly, this is the Handmaid's Tale." Right? Is that how it ends?
No,
With that Game of Thrones. You guys caught up on that?
No.
I've watched it. Yeah,
You play or you die. So here the plots diverge. Now here's where the choice comes.
that is not how it goes. Anyway,
Yeah, it is.
well, you win or you die. You don't. You just like play or
They
you
all
die.
died anyway. I think.
was that a spoiler?
More like the Mad Queen. Yeah, hashtag spoiler. So do you guys want to talk about? I'm making an executive decision. I want to talk about Dinky's drunk driving.
Okay.
Shaylin is leaving the room. Shaylin is disgusted by this.
I need a refill.
So do you want to just pause for
Let's
a
do a
second?
little pause.
Let's do a little pause.
We're talking about Dinky's drunk driving.
Right. So I want to talk about Dinky's drunk driving. And this is serious business. So Dinky, being a big Kurt Corwin fanatic, he's a real Corwin file.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking Jeff Corwin, the fraud. I'm talking Kurt Corwin, the actor. So he goes out to the scale model set.
Yeah.
And he puts on the clothes, which means like he switched clothes with the doll. And I don't know.
I know who
The sentient doll. It's a little
I also
weird.
don't like the name Dinky.
Oh my god, Dinky.
Dinky was, I mean,
It's
we
insulting.
we use that for penis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And also like it. Okay, clearly Grandpa hates Dinky.
Oh yeah.
Like
It's.
you see a lot of just like,
I'm glad you said that.
oh my god, it's such dysfunctional because like Grandpa seems to be the one raising
Right.
Dinky,
And the other
Grandpa
children.
Yes. So we spend.
hates him.
Dinky gets into the car at about the 10-minute mark. Gets out of the car at the 19-minute mark.
Holy shit.
he's
Are
in
you
that,
serious?
He's in that car for 9
Well, it
minutes
cuts
with
back and
Grandpa.
forth. It cuts back and forth.
The
It's
good
not
news
only
is
thing.
you're right. So it's not a contiguous thing.
It's not the car chase. That
The
Kendall
good news
and
is
Dave
I can sum up
wrote.
that 9 minutes in about 15 seconds. Would you like to know how?
Yeah, good,
Yes.
do it.
Stop this car! Stop this car, Dinky! This car! Now stop what's left of this car, Dinky! Dinky, no! Dinky, no! Dinky, no! No! Dinky! 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 Dinky!
So he spends 9 minutes berating Dinky, who is drunk. There's no doubt about it.
No, he
but
is.
Dinky does an amazing job driving this car.
No, Dinky is
He's
like a
like
stunt
in,
driver.
He's in like fucking pipes.
So Dinky's day job
Uh-huh.
is a pilot.
Hold. What?
Yeah, no,
What
Dinky's a pilot.
What?
So
Wait. What does he fly?
It's like a rubber band propelled.
It's a tiny airplane.
Well, airplane.
What is he flying? Like not I guess like is he like a cargo?
what's a car? Drugs.
What are they trying to be caught?
Teeny
hold on.
tiny envelopes.
little, the tiniest plastic Ziploc bags you've ever imagined,
He's a mule?
full of cocaine.
Well,
No,
his
so
plane is a mule.
His,
Okay.
like his day job is a pilot, right? So he thinks he can fucking do anything. 'Cause he's like, I'm a fucking pilot. I'll do whatever. And he is. He's a pretty good driver for a drunk driver, but he's making shitty decisions. And also, like, Grandpa is
That's
like
true.
being the worst backseat driver.
Oh, yeah.
But also, if he hadn't
Dinky, no, Dinky.
gotten
But he's
shit-faced
powerless.
before getting behind the wheel,
But
Yeah.
it's also like, just like, okay, Grandpa, you hate this so much. Reach over, take the keys. Like, you're not really. It's not like Rihanna and Chris Brown.
Yep.
Like, you've got some choices here. Shaylin's giving
that was
me
a deep cut.
the angriest
Ugh.
unwoke look ever, and I love it. But like, really,
It was because you said Rihanna.
So he's drunk driving.
He is.
This plane thing is weird. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So if he's a drug mule, do you think that he would direct a movie where he's dancing with young women and like he seems really cool, like another famous drug mule, Clint Eastwood?
Let's float it. I know you've got that address to the writer.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'll write to Mark Scott.
Let's
We're
float it.
going to
See how it
put
goes.
a little sci-fi twist on it. You know,
All right.
there will be
Space drugs.
space drugs. Of course, Saturn. I don't have any words.
Saturnalia.
What are we doing here? What are we doing? So
We're gonna have to redo this whole episode.
No,
tomorrow,
it's
aren't
fine.
we?
No,
we're
we're
gonna wake
fine.
up
It's
at
good.
like 5:30
No,
and have to redo it.
We're having
Yeah.
fun. It's good. So they're in the car forever, and I have summed up a lot for us. Okay, I'm doing heavy
I
lifting.
appreciate that.
You guys are over here boozing it up, and I'm like Atlas. Put the earth on my shoulders.
Thank you.
So we go back to the movie, right? And Kurt.
Well, because there's this whole like Chekhov's lava pit that you see
yeah.
earlier, where there's like a pit of lava. They're like, it's going to be an amazing scene.
Oh,
There's a pit of lava.
Oh, we're coming to it.
Yeah, okay.
It's serious business. But before we get there, Kurt, well, I guess he's not hitting rock bottom. He's actually being a cool guy because he doesn't like how his double is performing. Because
No, he's
there's a fight
cool.
scene going on, and I thought, oh, Kurt is fighting one of the villains of the movie. In fact, this is his double, which, as
Yeah,
we've discussed,
yeah.
very similar.
Yes.
It's like a twins,
Pretty much, yeah.
Schwarzenegger DeVito thing.
They look a lot alike.
Just like Schwarzenegger and DeVito.
He calls cut, and this is where it gets a little bit spicy.
This sure isn't like the movies. Why is Kurt Corwin acting that way?
Because he drinks too much, Lucy.
Howie, fire that clown now!
So he's talking like this, probably a lot like us as we narrate the
I know.
episode.
Got a few in him.
Yeah, what's this guy's problem? So he's like, fire my double, and he's being belligerent, and you hear the clinking of the ice again.
Yeah.
God
you do.
damn, is it funny as hell?
It is really good. It is like, it's the memories of.
What I love is that they're trying to give you like the PSA feel of like, here's a bad consequence to a bad decision,
But
but
it's-
instead it becomes just absolute comedy.
And also, it seems like this guy is doing all right
It's not just. I know he's doing fine.
for the majority of the movie.
He's
He's doing great.
fine.
It's in his contract, motherfucker.
He's fine, just like us. We're fine.
Yeah.
So the way that they try to get the PSA style across, to your point, Shaylin, is just long, lingering shots on Tom and Judy, the little children. So Bobby's like, he drinks too much, and then it just cuts to the two kids, and nothing happens. They just like
I know,
they're
they're
accepting this
Vaguely
information.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard to look sad when you've got these giant like Japanime eyes and like two big buck.
And when you're
rat
dressed like you're a
front
fucking
teeth.
chimney sweep from Victorian
Oh my
England.
god! I know. There's like one giant button. Like
Why
sewn
are
through
they
the front
dressed
of her
like
shirt.
that? Why
I mean,
they're living in the 1980s.
it's hard to buy clothes in that
Yeah,
size.
span-
Shaylin,
get your hair
Can you
did.
speak to that?
I think I'm more concerned about.
Yeah, that is your fashion style.
I do love large buttons.
Yeah.
A single button on a shirt.
Mm.
I want to talk about their sideburns.
Needed more pinafores.
Oh my god, the sideburns. You what?
Some of them have sideburns that are more luscious than my ponytail.
Yeah,
Oh, and listeners,
So
you
much
can't see
hair.
it.
it's very
she's,
hobbity.
She's sweeping that thing out. It is bam.
Yeah, like there's a hobbity, hairy weirdness to them because they've got these like weird tails, and they also have like these. At one point, you can see when they turn around, they have these like sort of butt patches where the tail comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a weird like little.
It's like a reverse
poop shoot.
boxer shoot.
Yes,
Boxer shoot? Is that the proper term?
I don't know.
I've never
Oh,
heard that
the-
before, but I'm on board.
I like to call it a dick hole, but I like to call a lot of things
Oh.
a dick hole,
Don't go there. Oh boy.
including my ex-boyfriend.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hashtag don't go there. So the point of this is
It's very fresh, by the way,
Kurt's story.
to listeners. It's very fresh.
It's fresh, like a fine Subway sandwich.
Or a
And
terrible fart.
If you go to subway.com, put in promo code WatchBots,
You'll get nothing.
You'll get nothing.
I don't even think you can go to subway.com.
I'm sure it exists.
Only exists in real life. Yeah. Okay.
You don't think they have a website? It's
Well, I think they have a
2019.
website. I don't think you could like.
You don't do,
anything.
like,
I don't think you can,
online
like,
order.
If
Right.
tiny envelopes, if that exists,
If tawny envelopes.
Tawny
if Tawny
envelopes.
contained
Tawny
envelopes
contained
exist.
sister.
Anyway, so Kurt, he's losing his mind. He's having like a
Yeah.
Christian Bale moment, you
Yeah.
know,
He really wants Howie to fire his stunt double.
He's so mad.
and he flies off set,
It's
and he
Christian
just boots the camera bag that has the two littles in
Okay,
it.
which
so like
is-
they're like tilting all over the place, and Bobby is horrified.
Okay, which
Henry.
is, by the way, my
Henry.
very favorite part, because what you see, and you may not have noticed, when this, when the camera bag comes
Yeah.
tumbling to the ground after he kicks it angrily, is that the couch that the little sit in inside the camera bag is made of a sponge,
Yeah,
like a household sponge.
it's pathetic.
It's adorable.
I
No,
love it.
no.
I
They're
love
little
it.
teensy
That's
tiny things.
why I love
This-
the little.
no,
'cause
this
they were
is
like,
so
here's
fucked
a
up.
fucking sponge.
Because
It's a
it's
couch
like-
for
okay.
tiny people.
So
Great.
if you want to have the littles, right?
And I
mean,
do.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies. But it's like, have them be in their society. You telling me that Dinky couldn't have built the goddamn table? Jesus Christ did it in Passion of the Christ. You know, like
He
why?
didn't need to buy a table because he could
'Cause
use
they
the
had-
little
they had-
thing from the pizza delivery that sits in the tiny
But
part
they're
of the
now they're
pizza.
using garbage, which makes them less than.
I'm gonna snip this right. Nip this. Snip it.
Oh,
Snip
yeah?
it, nip it.
Are you sure?
Snip it in
What
the
are you
bud.
getting at?
I'm gonna nip it in the bud because I don't want to. There's a game coming later
Okay.
that I think you're all gonna enjoy.
Okay.
Okay,
That was a big league tease.
Mhm.
What a pro.
I'm quite a tease.
What a pro. So the point is, Henry, I put Bobby in my notes constantly.
Bobby.
I'm sure I've said Bobby like 10
You're
times.
thinking of Bobby's
Real
World.
His
professional.
name was Bobby Bibb. It's
Bobby Bibb.
Bobby Bibb.
Bobby Bibb.
His name
Bobby
is-
Bibb is from the Smallies, not the Littles.
He was also in my favorite
Right.
90s rap group, Bobby Bibb DeVoe. Anyway, so he's pissed.
Yeah.
You're so drunk, you're completely out of control. You have no idea what you're doing.
Stupid kid. A lot you know.
Kurt rules on Mythic
Here's the
Kurt.
thing.
Mhm.
Kurt is in a lot more control than when I am a stupid drunk who doesn't know what she's doing.
Uh-oh. Don't
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, we know, Shaylin.
I'm just saying, Kurt Corwin is holding it together for a guy who's just had constant scotch for the last 19
I think
minutes.
he's got quite a bit of tolerance.
Yeah,
unlike
I
you.
think so.
That's
I
probably
mean, this
true. I
guy's-
think he's
this guy's
probably got
dri-
a little more body weight.
This guy's driving
too.
motorcycles around. So it's weird. So he berates a child,
Yes.
and then they're all like,
He sure does.
Let's get a sandwich. And Judy's like, I'm not hungry. And the little boy goes, it's okay. He's been drinking too much. I'll hang out with her. And he's just so cheerful about it. Like, I think the littles are weird.
And it gets like a Jack Black weird, like put your hand up to your mouth and whisper, he drinks too much.
Yeah, it's like it's very like knowing,
like a
and-
stage
oh,
whisper
man,
in a
it's-
weird way. I kind of love it.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
So they all go to lunch. We don't see the lunch, which is unfortunate. But if you want a good lunch, you know what I do?
Eat a sandwich.
I go down to Subway. I get a BMT. Yeah. So
I like the BMT because it has the word
great.
BM in it.
what is the M in the BMT?
Bacon,
Meat.
That would be the B.
Mexican, tomato.
Meat, bacon, and tomato.
It's not it at all.
Well, listeners, if you know, hashtag M is
Down
for
with
question mark.
BMT. Yeah, you know me.
Okay. All right. It's a bunch sideways.
I'm considering Googling this
Character
because now
limit.
it's frustrating me.
No, we put it out to the listeners.
Yeah.
So we don't. Kurt's lunch. It's a liquid lunch. This guy's still drinking,
I
and,
feel it.
and he's like, you know what? We're gonna do this stunt, and we see this lava pit that Emily mentioned. I thought it was like colored water.
No.
It is literally they're in a soundstage. They're not even outside.
And there's no one supervising it at the
There-
moment.
there's
It's like
no-
an empty soundstage.
Well, they went to lunch,
right.
and this guy hits a button, and this shit is literal lava.
Lava.
I think. Well, he
Actual
hits the lava button. I guess.
Well,
Now that I'm thinking
I'm
about
pretty
it, that's a
sure
little
everywhere
strange.
in Hollywood, there's just a lava button.
Yeah.
It's like, let it loose.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's real magic. So he decides he's going to do the stunt, and he gives his famous catchphrase, which coincidentally, also my famous catchphrase.
It's hero time!
Also, Subway's favorite catchphrase.
Yeah.
Big, meaty, tasty
Is that what it stands for?
BMT.
That's not what it stands for.
The
Oh my God.
Italian BMD sandwich.
BMD. Bad mother ducker.
BMT sandwich is filled with Genoa salami, spicy pepperoni, and Black Forest ham. Big, meaty, tasty.
Shaylin, can I ask you a question?
Get it.
What does my
That's
sandwich say? Bad mother ducker.
Mother duck.
It's hero time.
It's hero time.
It's hero time.
Of course, Tom and Judy
Mhm.
were on the electrical junction box, which is a good safe spot for them to be.
Yeah.
Also, a little alarming that Grandpa and Dinky abandon the children, and then Henry also abandons the children on the soundstage.
Well, so Grandpa has like zero authority. He's like
That's
the
correct.
cop in flesh that's like pull over, and then he doesn't pull over. Like he has nothing, and so Grandpa can't really help it.
Right.
Dinky's a fuckwit, and
And drunk.
Yeah, and he's
Dinky
drunk.
is drunk. Did you know that 50% of fatalities are from drunk driving?
I don't think that's true.
Well,
On October 19th
well-
of 1985.
a shining light told us so, and that would be Grandpa.
Half the folks killed in car crashes are cause of drunk drivers. And I don't want us to be two more.
So you're not just calling me out; you're calling Grandpa Little out.
All right.
So
Well,
for whatever
I'd
it's
like
worth.
to see the research. That's all.
Yeah, cite your source.
Cite your
sources, Zachary.
Fucking Grandpa
The
Little.
Littles.
Yeah,
So
Grandpa Little.
that was a quick diversion because so we're with Kurt.
Yep.
And somehow the Littles were in his motorcycle helmet, which he's wearing for the stunt, and that's not good showmanship because like you in the 30s
No,
you don't
you
wear
want
a
to look
helmet.
balls
But it
out.
wasn't going to
Yeah.
be him. It
And
was
it-
going to be just a guy who looked a lot like him.
That's true.
Yeah, but he's a bit of pussy, so
the-
he's gonna wear the.
It's the magic of CGI.
He's like, I'm gonna do this myself.
Oh,
Watch
coward.
me.
And so he puts the helmet on,
Uh-huh.
and the kids are hanging off of like the back of his shirt,
Yeah.
and it's like their grip strength is incredible.
Well, they're like ants.
Like tendons.
Ant-Man has the strength of a grown man while the size of an ant.
Okay.
And I suspect the Littles are similar.
So Kurt gets on the motorcycle. Now we're in a soundstage. There's some big sound stages. This guy's driving this motorcycle for like 2 months to get to this
No,
stunt.
it takes it's a little bit of a run up.
And
Yeah.
he struggles a little bit with his machine, which I did appreciate here.
Super bike!
Stupid bike. And the show, like it's animated, like he's just swerving a little bit. But he still gets
Still
there.
doing pretty well. I mean,
And I'm still under the impression that there's fireworks involved, but this lava is like colored water.
no, it's like it's super hot. And so if it touches anything other than here's my theory.
Well, it's a weird level of hot, right? Because Jesus Christ. So he hits the ramp.
Yeah.
And then he lands in the lava. Now, it's hot enough that the lava splashes out. It lands on a single rope, which catches on fire.
That's just physics.
This causes an inferno. There's no fire alarms, by the way. But it's not
It was
hot
85.
enough. But it's not hot enough to melt the tires of the motorcycle.
No.
Because
It
he's
went
like
right through it.
hydroplaning
He's still-
through
yeah,
it.
he's like
And then
zipping right over.
He
the
zips
surface.
right over
Yeah.
it. Like he's like wow, I'm like a Back to the Future movie. He's like he's Marty on the hoverboard, and he hits a curb, flies off of the motorcycle with the littles, mind you,
Yes.
who are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And he lands face first, and he's not injured, although the helmet falls off.
Yeah.
But
He has impeccable luck.
they're like, oh man, this dumbass is dead, but he wasn't dead.
He wasn't.
Do you guys
no.
know what he was?
What was he, Ben?
But Corwin's not. He's unconscious.
No, Lucy. He's passed out. Drunk.
Can someone describe to me the difference between unconscious and passed out?
So it's not
medically.
It's not like he had he just like went to sleep. He from a head injury. He just like got so drunk he went to sleep.
So I can put this in a real world situation.
Please do.
You're not going to like this one. So sometimes our group of friends will get together, and there's a company called Jackbox, and they make party games, and
Which are the best party games, by the way.
absolutely fantastic
If
stuff.
we had a sponsor other than Subway, it should be Jackbox.
I'm eternally
Strong agreement.
I'm trying to think of a way to like live stream playing these. Anyway, so you put them on the TV and everybody plays on their phones, and like you type in funny stuff. It's a hoot.
It's like the match game, but
The
like with
difference-
people you know and
Right.
filthier.
The difference between passed out and unconscious is when Shaylin has too much to drink, and she's still typing in answers to the game, but it's nonsense.
No, it's just letters.
It's so
and sometimes she's on Facebook thinking she's typing it.
or like claiming that she hasn't done it. So you're passed out at that point,
Yeah.
but you're not unconscious.
No.
So that's the difference.
What is unconscious?
Listen, don't try to come in with your big words.
Like
I
a
just
head
explained
injury.
it.
It's
yeah.
way hard to come back. Like no one can wake you up if you're unconscious. If you're passed out, we can get in there.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't know that I care for that phrasing. Anyway,
Bill Cosby style.
so
We can get in
oh,
there.
good God.
If you're just
Well,
unconscious.
All right, Bill, what I want you to do in this scene. I'm sorry, Sidney Poitier. He wouldn't do that.
I'm officially
you would never.
very uncomfortable.
So
oh, good.
they decide, oh shit, we're in this burning inferno and we can't get out of here. So we need Kurt. But it's a big risk because they can't have Kurt seeing them because that would ruin society. Anyway,
Yeah.
Somehow Dr. Hunter would find out.
Yeah, there's a whole
He's
thing.
dead.
It's, again, this whole like weird trope of like children keeping secrets that adults can't know. That's
Yeah.
great for cartoons and pederasty.
and we
And
we all know
horrible for society.
we all know
Yeah.
secrets are no fun. The point is they start slapping this guy. And
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, is this funny.
Come on, wake up!
And
Wake up, you big drunk!
he's just slapping the shit out of this
Yes.
guy.
But he's little, so his slaps don't mean much.
It
And
does
also-
wake him up though.
They are doing a good deed here.
They're trying their best.
They
Uh-huh.
want to keep this drunk alive.
Yeah.
Well,
I know a little bit is self-serving because he can open the door, they can't, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, they're stuck inside. The
That's
only way
true.
they're getting out
So,
is through
so
him,
that
yeah.
that's a little manufactured drama for you. We haven't seen Grandpa and Dinky in a bit, about 9 minutes, in fact. And this guy is driving this car around. I'm not even going to question how the car drives. We'll just say that's science, and I'll live with it. But like this guy, he's defying gravity. He
Yeah.
gets stepped on by an elephant paw. And this
Oh,
car's
yeah.
moving, but you know it takes them out. It's not another driver. It's not like a big person. It's a candy bar. He hits a candy bar, and the
Because
car.
he's already gone up through a gutter and
Yeah.
like driven vertically up the side of
Yeah.
the building through like a rain gutter and done all these amazing stunts.
But the
Drunk
rain
as
gutter
fuck.
prevents him from crashing into shit because it is like walls in every
This
direction.
guy's like a Mario Andretti, but he hits a chocolate bar and it's all over. But Grandpa flips out of the car,
Yes.
and we get the show's next attempt at manufacturing some heartfelt drama here.
Hey, where'd he go?
Grandpa!
No! Grandpa!
Unwoke opinion. Grandpa deserved it.
So
Oh, yes,
Grandpa's
of
been a
course.
shitty, a surrogate father, but also Grandpa is dressed like this Dickensian.
He's just like Ebenezer
the other
Scrooge.
littles are dressed a little bit scruffy, but sort of modernish, and he's dressed like Scrooge, and he has like a walking stick, and he's like just this little Dickensian motherfucker.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden he says something that's like so modern.
It was still too much for you to be in control of yourself. It wasn't cool, Dinky. It was criminal and dangerous.
It wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool.
Someone with the Dickensian fucking outfits going, it wasn't cool. Not cool, man.
I don't know. I've been to
Bro.
Comic-Cons. I've seen people
Bro.
dressed like that think it's cool. And hey, believe me, my steampunk bros hit me up.
Hit me up.
I mean, it's just like Tuesday for me. Like I have on my pinafore and I'm on the train,
Uh-huh.
just going. It wasn't cool.
Wasn't cool. Like,
It was criminal.
I would love to see you do that on the train.
yeah, Grandpa's super angry.
Well, I mean,
I am too.
to be fair, he was thrown from a moving car. He was
By a drunk
perfectly fine.
driver
Yeah,
that he tried to talk out of driving a car.
Yeah,
He didn't really take much action. I mean, I just feel like there's more aggressive action you can take.
that's true.
Like more than saying no, stop, please,
Stop,
don't.
Dinky, no, Dinky, no.
Dinky, no.
Stop the car, Dinky, no.
Bill Cosby, no,
Ding-
no, stop.
All right, Bill.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, they couldn't talk.
you
No.
went a step further than I was ready for.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Don't. Oh, you're supposed to do it with me, Shaylin. Hold on.
What is she-
1, 2, 3. Don't
I'm
go
not
there.
doing this with you.
The name of the show is No, Don't Go There. So that wraps that part up. Somehow the kids attach Corwin to a forklift and they tie him up with a cable.
Right.
Because they're much more intelligent than any of the humans.
They drag him out and he's fine despite being like dragged over concrete.
Right.
That shit would hurt.
Right.
He does his own stunts, kind of.
But we've learned a lot of lessons about drinking. And Kurt, to his credit, he says, I'm not perfect.
The fire was all my fault, Howie. I was drunk and tried something I should have known I couldn't do. I'll see to it that this studio is fixed up like new. I thought drinking made me a tough guy. Some tough guy. Yelling at people, driving crazy, starting fires. I couldn't stop myself. All because I was drunk.
And like while this is happening, he's standing there giving the soliloquy.
Mm-hmm.
The director comes up behind him. He puts his hand around him in a very romantic looking fashion. And I found myself wondering, what's going on with Howie and Kurt?
I mean, Howie and Kurt can have their love, and at the same time, Kurt can discover all of his 12 steps are accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not done. He has more steps to accomplish.
But also, I think everything that he describes and what he did, he's like, I'm no some tough guy. It's like, okay, you've just described toxic masculinity,
Right.
And you're saying you're not toxically masculine. No, that's exactly what a tough guy is.
Hold on.
Fucking dick.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. It's hard to say, Ben.
Here's what I have to say. Kurt was wrestling with some deep shit,
Uh-huh.
and he wrestled with it and found resolution faster than I am able to accomplish deciding my own breakfast any given day of the week. And so good for that guy.
He found resolution and he found a little humor too. I mean, I think that's a skill, right? When life gives you a sour lemon, you can throw that guy in the trash. You can hum it off a bridge, or
Make a lemon meringue pie and slap it right in his face.
that's right, like Kurt.
Yeah.
I was so drunk, I even thought tiny little people were trying to save me.
Fucking love that.
That-
I love that
whole-
so
How
much.
fast did he sober up?
Oh, I mean, you put me in a fire, I'll sober up real fast.
It was like 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It was 20 seconds.
So
And
I
by
guess
the way,
he wasn't that drunk.
I mean, that's one conclusion you could draw.
Yeah,
Or that animators are not
he was
good.
always in control.
Like,
I guess if you're accustomed to using hard drugs,
You might-
alcohol seems less aggressive,
yeah, well,
maybe?
yeah. It's still, he's just chuckling about. He's just chuckling about what happened like 20 minutes ago.
But we
Good message for the kids.
we have
Yeah.
one stone left unturned.
Oh no,
We've forgotten our sweepstakes winner, Henry
big.
Henry Big. Middle
Good.
name Henry Big. He's there, and he's reunited with the Littles. But man, his hero has fallen from grace. But Kurt, hero that he is, and I underscore hero, comes in. He's a little regretful.
You were right, kid. I wasn't a hero. Just a drunk.
You sounded pretty brave just now, Mr. Corwin.
Thanks, son.
Tackling your demons is the bravest thing you can do. You know what?
Yeah.
That's actually
That's
the
a
only
good
message
message.
that's kind of like consistent with 12 steps. It's like, actually, you know what? Admit you were fucked up. Like that's
It's
kind of cool.
like a night where Shaylin and I will be home, and she'll go to bed, and I'll have a couple of drinks. I'll play some video games, and I won't do so well. You know, like drinking impairs your reflexes.
No,
I
yeah,
can't be out there like killing folks with the kids. So I'll go upstairs and I'll wake Shaylin awake, and I'll just whisper in her ear, "I wasn't a hero, just a drunk."
And then I say, that was very brave, and go back to sleep.
Yeah. And that's how contrition is reached.
And that's how you make a marriage work,
Mhm.
guys.
Damn straight.
That's how you take a sour lemon and you jam it in someone's face.
You make it into a shandy,
But
which
we're-
is delicious.
We're not done.
No,
We're not done.
no.
Because we have a little known fact. Now, seeing that segment start, I would have thought that it was like the end of Captain Planet, where they're like, "Go Planet, and here's
Okay,
some
yeah,
facts."
yeah.
Because it's
The-
called
the-
a little known fact.
I have info
Is it called
there.
Little Known Factors? For a while, it was called Little Something for Big People.
A little tip for big
Yeah,
people.
yes.
Little project for
A
big
little
people.
something for big people.
That's Dave's dad.
It's Dave's penis. His
don't-
wife's very tall.
Don't go there.
Sorry, Dave.
Dave's, hashtag Dave. So we see Tom and Judy,
Mhm.
and they're reading a contract, and Dinky and Grandpa come in. It's an old timey contract. They explain what this is.
Kids agree to call their parents to come get them instead of driving in a car with someone who's been drinking.
And parents agree to pick them up with no questions asked.
Okay, so it's one of those like don't drink things. Parents and kids
Yeah.
bumping fists. It's cool. That's not the weird thing. That's not the weird thing. I mean, the idea of this contract is a little
No,
weird.
but I went to a lot of family therapy as a
Okay,
kid, and
yeah.
like they were always like, "Let's have a contract."
And that
we never stuck to it.
accountability, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Here's where it gets strange.
It's free!
And it might just save your life.
It's free?
It's free.
Who the fuck else would pay for it? The parents?
You don't have to call an attorney and get it notarized.
Yeah.
You don't need to give your children money to promise
I mean,
you're sober.
I
Also,
guess.
you don't even need to write it down. Like,
You
let's
just say it, yeah.
Let's just like actually.
Well,
just
if you
be-
write it down, it's legally binding.
Let's-
It's like what you do is you sign it and then you mail it to yourself in an envelope.
exactly with a clip of your hair.
Yeah.
So, but if the kid like breaks that agreement, is the parent going to sue him? Like, what?
I guess. I mean, because it's the audience for the show is children. Is that fair to say? So when you have Judy
God, I
looking at you
hope-
with the
God, I
face
hope so.
and saying it's free, to me that implies that kids would, if it wasn't free, the kid would be
the
paying.
kid would have to pay for
But he's
it.
paying his parents to drive. I don't know. It's like a fucked up Uber.
Basically, it tells me that their expectation is anyone watching this show
Uh-huh.
is coming from a home that has really deranged parents.
Which was in my case, fucking right on target.
Hell yeah, big ups.
Big ups, fucked up.
Parents in the house. Oh, boy.
Oh shit!
Oh
I don't care.
man.
I don't care. Use
Well,
it.
I have to bleep it out for the
Okay,
sake of
whatever.
the sake of the joke, where we care about these things.
Thanks, Dave.
All right.
How do you think Dave's doing at his conference in?
I think he's probably impressing people a lot with his knowledge of.
Just wait to see what I bleep out of these last sentences. Ooh, baby.
Oh no,
So
you did.
That's the littles.
That is the littles.
Let's start with Emily's favorite rating scale. Would you show this to a child? How about would you show this to a younger version of yourself?
So my answer is no,
Uh-huh.
because it's so good. I don't deserve it.
Wow.
And neither do anyone's children.
All
It's that good.
That's a blanket statement.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shaylin?
I wouldn't show this episode to a child because I would not want to answer the questions about alcoholism attached to it.
It's good. Don't talk about alcoholism.
Yeah,
Let it be a
that's-
deep, dark family
yeah, you're just
secret.
going to avoid it.
Good policy,
Yeah.
Hogan.
I just feel like this is
Beep. Get it together.
the unrealistic
Beep it.
approach.
People are going to think it's that.
We wouldn't bleep that. Yeah, maybe I will now.
You might. All right.
The unrealistic approach to alcohol addiction in this
Uh-huh.
episode makes me feel like it's not the right move, and also the littles in general make me uncomfortable.
Yes, that's the key.
So I don't want a kid
Like,
to see that.
I will stand up for the brownies and Willow. Kevin Pollak's finest hour.
Are you talking about little people?
Yeah, the brownies. That's what they're called. It's not weird.
The pygmies.
They're brownies. They're called the
Is it
brownies.
really? Okay.
I fucking hope so. I'm
Sorry.
getting all this.
The little people.
We don't have to be woke all the time. That's what they were called.
That's what they were actually
They were
called.
called
No, it's
the
fucking
brownies.
with you.
Now my whole point is ruined.
It's
The
just
littles are
more
fucking
of
freaky.
That Johnny Quest episode,
The littles are fucking freaky.
All right, 1 to 5, delicious, cold, tasty scotches. Emily, you are a guest. I know you're not drinking scotch, but
No,
you can
I
use
enjoy it.
whatever equivalent scale you like.
No, 5. 5 because
Also, we have scotch if you would like some.
it's in my contract.
you can get it. Shaylin?
3. I was entertained. It weirded me out, but also I laughed a lot.
Oh, well said. I'm going to go with 2. 1 for each of the missing Little's parents.
Yes.
But what about Henry Bigig's parents?
Fuck those guys.
I like the idea of this kid traveling the world on his own. Fuck the consequences.
Hell yeah.
I didn't take a gap year after college because I don't think that's a thing that existed
And
when
if
I was
you
in
would have,
college.
look what you missed out on.
What would I have done on a gap
Having
year?
your heroes shot down.
So here's the thing.
You would have
Yeah.
played video games and enjoyed it thoroughly.
Oh my god, that would have been sweet. Because I'm like, what would I have done? Like a hostel in Amsterdam?
A lot
Fuck
of jerking
no.
off. A lot of jerking off.
In a hostel in Amsterdam.
He's a married man.
Well, it wasn't then. Can I take a gap year now? Is it too late?
It's too late.
If I
man.
missed the window?
It's
Too
just
late.
jerk off in Amsterdam for years.
I would cart along my little friends, and
In a camera bag.
anytime that I had to poop, I would take them out and I would say, "You watch this. You made this happen.
You eat like that. You
Wipe
eat like
me.
that.
Wipe me." What do the littles eat? Anyway, that's not important.
Human food.
What is important
It's established.
is that we ask our guests to put work into the show.
Yes. And to make a game,
And this is no different.
which is the joyous moment. I contribute so little to the world. This is one way I can do it.
but
so,
to some of us, you are the world.
the children wants to make a better place, so let's start living. All right, so the game tonight, it's a version of Shaylin's, this or that, but it's this or that or the other.
This for splat.
Right. So as I mentioned before,
Splat.
one of my favorite things about the Littles is that in the end, there's like a craft project usually instead of here's a contract
No.
with your parents.
Season 1 and 2, it was here's a craft project. Season 3, it was let us give you some very adult work, even though you're a child,
know.
and we'll disguise it as a fun project.
Which was getting your alcoholic parents to sign a contract. I'm sure was garbage. Anyway, so but
Probably written on the back of a beer label.
it was always like craft projects, right? Like so it was like
a craft
different,
beer project.
different ways that you could use things that would work in a little world and blah blah blah. So I looked up some
Hold
different
on. Kurt Corwin, more like Kurt Corwine. Kurt Corwin, more like Kurt Morwine.
The questions I have for you, I'm going to give you some things. I've rewritten them myself so that you can't tell by the tone. That
Did you write them yourself originally?
so they're ideas
Okay.
for crafts, but
Oh,
they're
okay.
from 3 different sources.
Okay.
One of them is from Amy Sedaris's hilarious book about crafts for poor people.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is from The Littles, and one of them is from hipster stuff that you might see on Etsy.
Okay.
Okay, so
hold on. That is not something that is real.
Yes, it is.
So poor people, littles, or hipsters is what's up to you.
Can you define the exact difference between poor people and hipsters?
So
Shaylin. Ooh, that take was fire.
hipsters
Bow.
do it because they want to. Poor people do it because that's all they got.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm
Set
gonna
up here in our
ask you
ivory
two. I'm
tower.
gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions. I need you to tell me poor people, littles, or hipsters. All right.
All right.
Got it.
And I'm gonna use my own language, so it doesn't give you a clue to where it came from. So number 1, who'd like to go first?
Shaylin.
All right. Me.
Shaylin, number 1. Postage stamps make great wall art for tiny spaces. Their ridged borders even look like little frames if you are stupid or visually impaired.
Hipsters do this.
Incorrect. That is an idea from the Littles,
Damn it.
and you're wrong.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Well, hold on.
You might have noticed in the episode you watched there were postage stamps on the walls.
Yeah, but like, I'm not a little.
But you watched the
But
episode.
there might be littles watching you poop.
Always.
But that's not the point. Like, how? Whatever. It's
Anyway,
fine.
the
It's-
Littles
it's
use
fine.
postage stamps as their decor.
That's not practical.
With fancy
Benjamin,
frames.
it's your question. Decorate an old cheese grater with lace, ribbons, and Scrabble tiles. Attach a clothespin and use it to hold your recipe card while you're cooking.
The
Poor people, Littles, or hipsters?
poor people.
No, poor people only have one cheese grater. That's definitely hipsters.
Oh, there are multiple cheese graters.
Yeah, how? Because you
One
can't
for grating cheese and one for holding
for
the recipe
decorating.
for grated
Okay.
cheese.
which is stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my
All right.
mistake.
Good, good try, Ben.
That's
Good
a fuck
try.
up. That's on me.
You know what? You're learning as you go. It's
That's
good.
on me.
You
It's
know?
on me.
All right, Shaylin. Number 3. Make a rag doll with long legs stuffed with pennies. Use it at the base of a door to stop drafts.
That sounds like a hipster project to me, Emily.
You're incorrect. Pennies are so worthless that that's actually a poor people project.
Mm.
Poor people love hoarding pennies.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Jeez. I don't know about that one.
Are you saying that's not woke?
Yeah.
I was
Speaking as a poor person, Ben. All right. Ben, you're up. Here you go. Glue a couple of popsicle sticks crossways to some slightly smaller popsicle sticks.
Mhm.
Then thread a rubber band through 2 holes you poke in a little piece of cardboard. Loop the rubber band around the popsicle sticks, wind it up, pop it in the sink, and bam! You're motorboating.
Can I go with option 4? MacGyver. It's a MacGyver.
It's not. Poor people, Littles, or hipsters.
Oh man. Littles.
You are correct.
Yeah, that's right.
First correct
Fuck.
answer. They
That's how
made
they
a
make
little
fan boats.
tiny ferry boat
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of that. It is ridiculously stupid, and motorboating is a funny
when
thing
you
to
say
say.
ferry boat, are you saying ferry or fairy like tiny beings?
Ferry, but mostly I'm saying motorboating because
Would it get you across the river Styx?
funnier.
Motorboating.
I didn't expect that from you, Shaylin, but it makes me happy. All right, your question is next, Miss Shaylin. All right, hammer some bottle caps flat, then attach them to earring loops to make recycled jewelry. You can snip more of them into shapes and fasten them together to make their earrings extra dangly.
That sounds like a poor people project, Emily.
Bitch, that's what hipsters do.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Boy, that wasn't even a smokescreen.
Because
So-
you know what?
I was a poor kid and we used to just leave shit on the railroad tracks for the train to flatten them.
Yeah.
That's how trains jump the tracks.
Yeah, but
And
like,
also jump the tracks.
do you know how expensive a Mexican Coke is right now? It's
Obviously,
I'll tell you this, though.
You don't know
Worth
how
it. Worth
poor
every
kids
penny.
That's hipster
invested
money.
in IBC root beer.
that's hipster money.
It's real sugar. Like, it's good.
It
I'm
is
drinking.
good.
I'm drinking an old fashioned Coke, and believe me, I'll love them.
All of
You give me a Mexican Coke though,
Mm.
with a taco
Mm.
and a margarita and a shot of tequila,
Wasting away again.
and yep, that's right.
All right,
With Heinz 57.
Benjamin,
Yes.
French fried potatoes.
Right.
cut a miniature shower curtain out of a shower cap and use a piece of clothes hanger for a rod.
Littles.
No, it's poor people.
Nope, it's Littles.
It's definitely poor people.
I forgot the Littles don't shower.
Littles do not need to shower.
It's like
They're
in Back to
little
the
mice
They're
people.
little mice.
It's like in Back to
people.
the Future Part 2, where he has like the self-drying jacket. They self-clean.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Amy Sedaris suggests actually that we do this for our doll houses, which I love. And she says the shower curtain, like the shower cap, like
Okay.
who fucking wears a shower cap isn't much use anymore. Shaylin,
I'm ready.
yes, make acorn caps into bowls and set a table for your tiny friends, whose names might be Shaylin, on a small piece of wood.
Littles.
Oh, bitch, that's a hipster craft that you can actually buy on Etsy. You can buy.
I don't want to eat my food out of acorn caps.
Well, I'm sorry.
I want a real person meal
yeah.
as
Well-
a grown human.
Well,
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
If you had no choice and you had to eat out of an acorn cap, what food would you put in there to make it palatable?
Oatmeal.
Valium.
Deviled ham.
There's no wrong answer.
No, we're all
I
correct.
really messed that up. I definitely should have picked hipsters.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Fuck.
Ben, you're
Yes.
Paint different sized cardboard boxes a uniform color, then attach wine corks in rows to look like typewriter keys. Stick a piece of paper out of the top with writing on it so it looks like you typed it on your pretend typewriter.
The wine cork feels like a red herring to me. I'm gonna go with my heart, and I'm gonna say the Littles.
Bitch, that's poor people.
They don't have wine corks.
They drink a lot.
Where are they getting the wine?
Well, they drink a lot.
Wherever they want, Ben.
Because of poverty.
Wherever they want.
It's Amy Sedaris has this beautiful picture of that craft in her book.
Okay.
All right. Shaylin,
Yes?
grab some surgical tubing you've got handy and use it as a speaking tube by threading it through a vent.
I need to know what surgical tubing is and why I would have it handy.
Well, that question is not part of this game, so you're going to have to go on your own.
How big is surgical tubing?
Just grab some surgical tubing that you've got handy.
I literally have no idea what that is.
It's the size of your arm. Why would you think surgical
It's
tubing is?
It's just little tubing like you'd use to drain a
No.
catheter. Or something.
Shaylin's making circles with her fingers. It's an audio show.
Yes, it's not a.
Littles.
You're right.
Yeah.
Shaylin. Yeah. That brings it up to a tied score with finally some people getting my jokes. All right.
I have lots of
Jokes?
handy surgical tubing.
Benjamin, which is how I always thought the name was until I saw it spelled.
I do have some German heritage.
There you go. Okay.
That's what they called me in school.
Bend 2 paper clips into L shapes so they can stand upright. Then insert a note card to display an important message to the world, like live, laugh, love, or beware of toxic sarin gas.
It truly the silent killer. Hipsters.
Bitch, no, it's the Littles. And the message actually is about when there's poison gas in a different
Is it
episode.
really?
And they
What in
use
the
a
world?
little like paperclip thing to say, beware, don't play here. There's toxic gas.
How would you?
Hey, kids,
I would
don't
know.
breathe in this
Yeah.
room.
I loved it. All right. So Shaylin, you're next. An
Yes.
old watch can do double duty in your dollhouse. Hang it from its strap, and you've got a clock. Flip it over, and it's a round mirror, like in that Jan van Eyck painting with Vladimir Putin and the gross pregnant bitch.
Littles.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sweet. She pulls into the lead, Ben. Look out.
Oh no. How will I go on?
Here you go. Decorate a broom handle and hang it horizontally in a window as a talisman.
As a talisman?
As a talisman.
That feels talisman. The Littles.
Again, it's my own words.
I know, but these all feel like red herrings. I feel like you're tricking me.
So that's my whole point.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're here to have a good time. The Littles.
Yeah, no, it's a poor people craft. Amy Sedaris suggests that you get a broom handle and you hack it off and you put it in the window. All right. Question 13. This is a tiebreaker.
So do we both answer?
Yeah, you both think for yourselves an answer.
Well,
Okay.
we should come up with buzzer noises.
Okay. Well,
Shaylen, what's a good buzzer
no.
noise?
Take your time. You're both going to think.
I'm just
different
going to yell
things.
dinky no.
It's not like one of you knows better than others. All right. Turn an old game piece from the board game Sorry into a butt plug for your vintage 1992 Earring Magic Ken doll. Any color will do, but black is a classic.
Dinky no.
Tinky no.
Hipster.
Ben?
Poor people.
This is red herring. I made this up myself.
No. MacGyver. The answer is
Okay.
MacGyver.
No. Here's the deal. The real tiebreaker is underneath your seats.
What?
Underneath each of your couch chairs, you will find
Just kidding.
an item. No, go dig underneath.
You went into our
In,
couch
in
cushions?
an envelope underneath your couch cushions, you will
Okay.
find an item
Hold on.
that is
Stand by.
that is an item that is used in the Littles. It's in an envelope, and I would like you to look at what your item is, and like you
Do we
to
both have
tell me-
items or
yeah,
just
you've
Ben?
got one too. No,
Holy shit.
Shaylen, she clearly explained the rules.
yeah, look under your seat cushion.
I've
There you
not
go.
opened.
There's an
I'm
envelope.
waiting.
Open the envelope, and inside the envelope, you will find an item, and you need to tell me what it was used for in a Littles episode, or what it might have been used for, what it could have been. So,
Okay.
open that
Hold
shit
on.
up.
Shaylen,
For
open
the listeners, there are literally envelopes under all of our couch cushions.
all of them. Too?
I'm a
All
little
two
bit.
of them.
We only have 2 couch cushions. Shaylen, can you open that away from the microphone?
I was doing it for dramatic effect.
It's exciting. It's like the Oscars.
It's crinkly and unpleasant.
It's like the Oscars. La La Land. Whoops. I mean, Moonlight. Mm-hmm. So yeah, some bitches like to not come prepared. I like to come prepared.
So we have to explain what it was
Tell me
used for.
what it was used for, or what it could have been used
For
for.
the littles.
In the littles. Yeah.
In their crafting segment.
Or in their just regular program. I mean, you can think creatively about this. You can.
Do you want to describe what you have in your envelope, Em?
Right. So I have what appears to be a green bendy straw.
Mm-hmm.
A little big for your typical high C box.
Possibly used.
I mean, I can't swab it, but I guess I guess so.
I would like to let you know I have not used that. I just
It is bent, though.
I know, but I crammed it into my purse and put it in.
It's also been sitting under
under
my ass for I don't know, the last 4 hours.
And
I don't know when Emily came into our house to place these items.
And
I'm just a little uncomfortable.
Been here for 7 months.
To me, right?
Yeah.
I think I look at how this straw is bent. And it is bent. That's
It's a bendy straw.
very
That's
important,
accurate.
Shayla.
Which, by the way, was invented by a Jew, which a Jewish boyfriend of mine used to always be like, Black History Month. You know what Jews invented? The bendy straw. And I was like,
What?
that's not impressive.
That's
Yeah.
a fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah.
To me, this is a shepherd's hook because I've decided that the littles, they were farmers, you know,
Okay.
and they have to delight Emily, the little tiny sheep that they have to go around. And so picture a Dinky or his brother Winky or their sister Tinky out in the fields. You got to use what you got. So you got a straw and you're like, motherfucking sheep, get in here with my straw hook.
I'm so tired of these sheeps on these plains.
It's a sheep
exactly.
hook.
It's a sheep hook.
Motherfucking sheeps on these.
It took me a long time to get there.
A sheep hook. Beautiful answer, Ben.
Thank you.
Shaylin, tell us what you've got.
So I've opened an envelope with what appears to be a used wine cork.
Well, how do you have an unused wine cork? I'm not a vineyard, Shaylin.
You can procure them at craft stores.
Oh, that's thematically appropriate.
Well, for
But
people who
this
are
one says
Mormons who don't drink
decoy
their own wine.
wines, and it has wine on the end of it.
That's how
I'm
they
going to
come.
speculate that the littles would use a wine cork as a flotation device.
Oh.
A boat, perhaps.
All right. I think both of your ideas are brilliant. So let me tell you, Shaylin, I'll start with you. Flotation device, probably useful. They just used them as a stool. They just sat on a wine cork as a stool.
Oh.
And that was literally in the episode. Had you paid attention?
That's taller than what I expected a little to be.
What kind of
Okay.
professional are you?
know.
Makes
Well,
me
it's like
sick.
a bar stool. Come on.
It's
You've
tall.
been to a bar. All right. And Ben,
Yes.
the straw, which, I mean, you came up with a pretty elaborate answer. I think the real answer is a little simpler. It was a
Shepherd's hook.
navigation device for a dirigible made of a balloon and a piece of string. So you would tape the balloon
Okay.
to the straw, blow it up, put it on a piece of, thread a piece of string through it, and send it across the room, which I actually made as a child.
That's,
I did that too, but we didn't call it a navigation device. We called it a trolley.
Well,
See,
I
I'm-
don't know.
I
what-
called it a dirigible
I'm
because my
jealous.
parents went to college.
Well, one of my parents definitely got a high school diploma.
So I tried to make a navigation device at Boy Scout camp with like the needle and the cup and stuff, and I was so bad at it that I cried. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make it work, and I didn't get the weather. Like you could pick
I
out
can
the
see how it's really hard. Though.
you could pick
Like,
out the merit badges you were going for. I picked out weather because I was like, oh, this is a sure thing. Didn't
So-
get it.
So I just want to apologize for the game because it was a bit of a failure.
What? What are you talking about?
I think that you made such an exquisite game that Ben and I both were unable to succeed.
See, this is the opposite of our usual games where we will put in effort into it. And I will speak from my own experience. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to fucking get him with this one. And then like the answers are all clearly obvious.
I'm actually shocked that you guys know not as much about
Let's-
hipsters versus poor people.
Let's
But-
remember our
and maybe-
our circumstances as well.
But maybe the truth is hipsters and little people. I mean, littles. Sorry,
maybe,
Shaylin.
maybe they're not so different
and
after all.
and hipsters aren't that different after all.
Yeah,
We're all
that's
poor people
That's
at
a
heart.
beautiful lesson.
And vote for the right people in the next election.
That's right.
Yeah.
The
Trump.
ones who care about little people and
The
poor
little
people.
Yeah,
the little people.
Donald J. Trump. Right? Well, thank you, Emily. And you know what?
We're gonna have to redo this tomorrow.
No, I don't think so.
I think we ought
one,
to.
We do not have time.
genuinely think we ought to.
We do not have time. On to the mailbag. And wouldn't you know it? It's about the president. No, it's not. So I heard through the grapevine that you're doing an episode about boozing. I would love to hear about your favorite cocktails. And maybe while you're at it, come up with a cartoon-themed cocktail. Workshop it. Do it together. It's a party. Do it. Yours, Bert Swizzlestick. So we talked about some of this already, but like we're having various cocktails here. What's your go-to?
My go-to when I'm feeling classy is probably a sidecar. Plenty of booze, plenty of tangy, lemony sweetness.
So what is in a sidecar?
So it is booze. It is
Okay.
No, it's like a
What kind of booze, Emily?
Uh-huh.
It's brandy. It's Cointreau, and it's got lemon juice, and it usually has a sugar rim, and so it's very tart. Tart and strong and sweet enough. I like that very much.
Hey, it's like me.
Yeah, you're a tart.
That's right. And I'm
He's
strong
a married
enough.
man.
Just strong enough.
Sweet like sugar. Shailen, what do you like?
I like items with fruit juice and vodka. I find that rum drinks are... Ben's making faces at me. I like raspberry
it's a
lime
simple
Rickies
question.
with vodka in them.
That's a
Okay,
good.
see,
yeah,
that is a
that's
good
delicious.
answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat and answer in 3 ways.
And yet you made a face when
Well, I'm not going
I-
to say vague things like fruit juice and vodka. Number 1, gin and tonic. Love
Classic.
it. Classic. Number 2, I like a good margarita.
Mm.
I mean a good margarita. Like
I like good margaritas.
not
like-
too sweet, because you go to like a Fridays or a Chili's. Not that I'm doing that very often. It's like
Yeah.
you're drinking a fruit juice box with
yeah,
vodka.
it's like it's all sugar.
Yeah, so like a little
Tequila.
more tart, some Cointreau ideally, good stuff.
Yeah. Cointreau
Number 3,
helps.
I love a good tiki drink. So like a Mai Tai.
Tiki,
I will say
tiki,
Mai
tiki,
Tai just
tiki.
in general. You know what I mean? That you're going in
Yeah.
for sugary sweetness, crazy glass. You're usually in that kind of bar. Good atmosphere.
You're at the Kowloon.
I would...
on Route 1.
Shout
Oh,
out
yeah.
Kowloon. Shout out Andy
Kowloon.
Wong. Big ups.
Sponsors.
Yeah, totally.
I have a love-hate relationship with the tiki drinks.
Sure.
Because sometimes you get them and they're so sweet, or alternatively, like
Hey, like me.
all you can taste is the booze
Hey, like me.
and there's no flavor
Balance.
other than
There's,
like
not
burning.
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there are 2 or 3 restaurants in particular I can think of where they will do the fog cutter and it has grapefruit juice instead of orange juice.
I like that.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would override my raspberry lime Ricky with vodka every day.
So I can't drink. I'm allergic to pineapple. So I can drink probably a lot of canned stuff, but you never know if they're going to use real fresh
Yeah.
and get me fucked up. So I love a tiki drink because I just like often you get the cup to take home for free.
That's the big thing. Yeah.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
That's the best thing ever. Like, why don't they do that more in restaurants? I would spend stupid money and probably get less drunk because I'd be buying awesome cups. So, yeah, I think that the tiki drinks I have tons of respect for, but it's hard to find a good tiki that doesn't have
Sure.
pineapple.
There's a company called Geeky Tiki, and they started.
Are you making this up?
No, I swear. There's some in our
real?
kitchen. They started with Star Wars, and they started making tiki glasses based off of Star Wars characters.
Oh, wow.
And they've expanded out to like Marvel characters.
Oh, come on. They
and,
got to
like,
sponsor this
like
podcast.
Star Trek: The Next Generation, which yes, I do have the whole line in the basement.
Also, look
good
in the
stuff.
dining room and you'll find a collection on the shelf.
It's an audio show.
Why have I never been served a drink in that? That's my question.
Because they're
Yeah,
still in
they're
the
still at the
boxes.
and also because tonight I've
Because you're drinking out of your your
I've
classy Dunkin'
demanded
Donuts
that
cup.
Ben serve me in my reused Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee,
Mm-hmm.
decaf iced coffee.
But recycle, reduce, reuse.
That's the
Captain
message.
Planet is
So-
happy.
so a
It just-
cartoon-based drink.
A cartoon,
though.
and let's keep it on the littles even, because I think it's close to home. I mean, what would it be?
I mean, I think to pay like a very direct homage to this episode, something called Little Drunk. I think it would be like a Long Island iced tea, but with miniature, like a kumquat and a mini like a baby corn as that garnish.
Baby corn.
'Cause
What?
It's tiny.
Because it's tiny.
Yeah, but
Little.
It's a
Ben.
little
It's-
drunk.
It's little.
And a Long
all right.
Island iced tea gonna get you
I
drunk.
was with you up until the baby corn.
I mean, corn is really sugar. It's
I think
very sweet.
no matter what it is. Now, if you want to be really thematically appropriate,
Yeah.
what you do, you get a jigger of scotch, right? You get a
One
little-
jigger.
That's what I said. You get a little teeny tiny glass, and then you just you put an eyedropper into the scotch, and you jigger it in there,
Sorry, quit saying jigger.
and it's No.
It's a perfectly cromulent
know.
measurement,
It's-
Emily.
and what you call it.
Is what?
It's still a little drunk. I didn't have a fresh name.
What's it? You should call it a Dirk. What's his name?
Dirk?
Kurt Corwin.
Oh, Doc Pearson.
Or Kurt Corwin.
I, in homage to the Littles, would drink a Kurt Morgan, which is just a gin and tonic with double lime.
Wouldn't it be double gin?
It should be double gin.
Yeah. That
I would do both of those
that
things.
felt like a pretty easy single to hit.
I felt like
you went in and I was like, oh, I get where she's going with this, and you went not in the
Nope.
direction I thought.
she took a hard left.
I would
there.
drink it in a big glass.
Yes, it would make me feel really little.
Yeah.
So I had this guy.
Extra ice.
Oh
my
yeah,
friend-
the glass would be huge. Oh, I love it.
Good idea. It's a vase,
My
but you're
friend,
having a tiny bit of alcohol in it.
my friend Ted used to drink like you remember those big Foster's Lager. Used to
Sure.
have these like super
Yeah,
big
yeah.
cans,
It's a-
like
it's a
an oil
40.
can or whatever it is. And he would drink it, but he would hold it with, and he was like a big dude, and he would hold it with both hands and like look at it with his eyes, like cross-eyed, like a little kid looks at a drink to make it feel like he was this tiny kid drinking a giant drink.
It's
And it was my favorite.
It's fun to do it the
Shout
other
out
way
to
too.
Ted Ledoux. All right.
Shout out Ted. We have a friend who has like Jack Skellington hands, so like long and spindly. If you get like the little teeny Coronas, you put them in his hands.
It's a
man.
monster.
It was horrifying and titillating.
See, that's what I'm saying about like miniature things are fantastic. Either mini or really big, or you
Yeah.
like the scale.
It's
I mean, Project Runway. It's all about scale. It's all about proportion.
that
Use the Aldo styling wall really thoughtfully.
you know what they say to end Project Runway?
What?
You got to do the turn.
No, make it work is what they say.
Nah,
This is
like,
less is more.
And
You got to
that's-
do the turn.
And that's what Kendall says to me. Make it work. Because I don't have a job.
Oh, I see. Don't
Sorry.
go there.
I was a bit inside.
And so ends another concise and well thought out mailbag statement. But thank you, Bert Swizzlestick. If you wanna get in and hear us talk about things tangentially related to your question, email at watchbotspod.com. So I think drunk driving not cool. I'm just saying it, not cool. The show
Word.
about drunk driving, very funny.
Especially as poorly thought out about alcoholism as this one was.
Yeah.
Like, it just insanely ill-informed.
It was 1985.
Yeah, no, alcoholism has existed for a little bit longer than that.
People didn't take it seriously, though.
No, it was opium addiction before that.
You're right. It was the opium wars.
The year was 1985. A young Emmett Brown had discovered the secret of time travel. Why do I have this on the brain today?
And Marty McFly loved his orange vest.
We're going to do a second episode right now about Back to the Future, the cartoon.
Let's do
Yes.
it. We're ready.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
We're primed.
So yeah, it's
Watch
good
Bob
stuff.
Primed?
Oh. So Emily,
Yeah,
another success.
I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
You're
Why are we doing
sorry
this?
for a successful episode.
No,
That
I
speaks
just
volumes.
beg to differ about the level of success that you're implying.
We'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post. Yeah, fix it in post. I trust that you will. Thank you
Is
for.
there anything you would like to plug or push?
Oh yeah, you know what? So I'm going to be doing my own podcast pretty soon.
Do tell.
So it's going to be called Not in My Wheelhouse, and it is it's going to be a podcast about me, who is a sports ignoramus. I'm not an idiot. I'm a smart person, but I do not get or understand or know much about sports. And it's going to be people who do get or understand or know sports, explaining sports concepts or important moments to me while I mock them for thinking that that's relevant.
You have a lot of repeat guests on that one.
Yeah.
yeah. Cool.
People will
Well,
embrace
I've
this
come
concept.
back to this, so So
I
Ben,
don't know that I've ever made fun of you.
I've
on
invited
this.
Ben to be a guest.
Yeah.
Shaylin knows sports. Shaylin, I'd love to have you on too.
I like tennis.
I do not like tennis, actually.
Really? I kind of feel like Yvonne Lendl is the sort of Frankenstein monster who I'd like to fuck the most of all sports people.
I don't know who that is, and I know that when I was in gym class trying to learn how to play tennis, my teacher took away the racket, handed me the ball, and said, "Go bounce this against the building or read a book, and we will see you in 47 minutes."
Go spin the hoop with a stick.
Sweet. Spin the hoop with a stick.
I don't know why
Right,
you
your
think that I'm
penny
from like
farthing.
1823.
Because
Because you're so
everything you say
clearly
pushes that way.
malnourished as a child. That's why you've grown up so small.
Shaylin, you've pushed us far enough off the rails. But Emily, we'll look forward to your podcast.
Yes.
I
hitting
can't
the
wait
airwaves
to
soon.
be a guest to talk about
Thank
hoop
you.
stick.
All right, hoop stick, you're on.
Hoop stick. Anyway,
You brought that up.
you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Jiffy at Hoopstick. Please subscribe, rate, review on iTunes, Spotify. You know where to find us because you're listening. For Shaylin, for Emily, and not for Dave, who couldn't show up.
Fuck that guy.
That's right. This is Ben.
Abandoner.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Watchbots. And until next week, drink in moderation.
Do not
Why
drink
are
and
you laughing?
drive.
Do not drink and drive. That's very serious.
Don't drink and drive, yeah.
And let's go play some fucking Jackbox. Goodbye.
Bye.
Shaylin, say bye.
Bye.
Good night, Gracie.